Hi guys, welcome to Horizon Zero Dawn Part 4. We are currently making our way westward towards the Sun Kingdom and hopefully find the guy who had the other earpiece thingy. That's weird. Sorry, 1 second.
Woman is one of the ranks of the Hunter's Law.
Sorry, 1 sec. I don't know why.
Did it crash?
Can you check my stream, Hot Wheels?
Yeah, you've got your moon emblem up at the moment. Don't forget, there's a slight lag, so...
Yeah, I mean the thing is that it, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to want to put Horizon on.
I mean, it was working for a few seconds and then it disappeared.
Yeah.
Have you tried doing window capture instead of game capture? Because you're not the only person that's been having problems with that today.
No. Take a look.
Otherwise, this will be a very boring stream.
Yeah. It was working a moment ago. It might be.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When I came into Discord, it was working.
Yeah. Take a look. Next. Done. That's Steam, but where is it? Horizon. Let's try quitting and...
Yeah, I mean, I can see it on your Discord fine. Is it because we're doing that on Discord, perhaps?
I mean, it was fine last time.
But I mean, maybe you need to set it up on stream before you invite screen sharing.
1 sec.
But I hear today is the 4th anniversary of the release of Horizon.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, I can see it on there now. You're on the loading screen.
Yeah, I just gotta make sure that when I tab out or whatever to get Discord set up, that unless you can suddenly see it already on Discord.
No, but I could start screen sharing and then see if it can switch screens that way.
Horizon, go live. Right, how's Discord?
Yeah, I've just started screen sharing with you, and it flashed for a second on Discord, but it seems to be working.
Cool.
Yep.
What about the stream
It
now?
looks... Stream's still good.
Cool. Took a while, got there eventually.
Joys of technical difficulties with computers.
I need a miracle.
Right,
Someone who can tell me who slaughtered my men.
I'm a good tracker. Maybe I can help. What happened?
Mass murder. That's what. 5 night guards shredded like cabbage out there in the quarry.
5 men murdered? How?
Don't know. One was a buddy from before the liberation. We worked this quarry together as slaves for the Mad King. My friend, may he walk forever in the light, knew how to fight. Fiends who did this must have had stealth or numbers.
Anything strike you as strange or out of the ordinary?
Well, let's see, oh yeah, chunks of corpses, gushing blood. Sorry. Pressure's getting to me. Not used to murder. Nah, nothing unusual. Well, except we've been doing a little blasting lately, and Saravad said, no, that's just stupid.
You've been using explosives?
Sure, to clear away bedrock and get to the good stuff. We do it for a week or so every year, but that's got nothing to do with the dead. They were torn apart, not blown up.
Probably agitated machines.
What exactly did Saravad say?
Ah, nothing. Kept babbling about a pile of rocks out there. Said he didn't remember it from yesterday. I told him that this here is a quarry, where we move rocks all day. So rocks getting moved ain't so surprising, lunkhead.
Ooh.
Could machines have killed them?
Don't see how. The quarry is fenced and gated,
One
and I've never seen a
second.
glint hawk do anything like this.
I'll have a look around the quarry.
If you think it'll help.
I've lost your screen share.
Uh,
Hello?
yeah, I'm here. What about now?
Black box, nothing happening at the moment. It popped up a message telling me to go watch your stream, and I'm like,
You're live.
wait.
I mean, as far
So-
as mine says, it's popped up.
I mean, it's working on stream, but
I
it
think
keeps
it
going
seems
in
to be
and
either
out
or by
on
the looks of
stream.
it.
Yeah.
Gonna be a massive pain in the ass. Mm.
Oh well, looks like we can't use this method.
Yeah, that's fucking annoying.
Because the stream's more important than me seeing it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just have to shush you or something.
Well, if I can hear it the way I was hearing it without seeing it, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, just trying to figure out a way we can do that then.
Unless we use Skype or something like that in future.
Might have to. I don't think we've got a way where you can just hear the audio though.
Yeah, I think it's something to do with the fact that Twitch is partnered with Discord.
Hmm.
I'm not sure.
I guess we'll have
I mean,
to
it's
figure that out
back
later.
at the moment, but I don't know how long for.
As in the stream or Discord?
I can see it on Discord
Oh, okay.
and the stream,
I've seen this 4 times already.
unless it's something to do with your capture card.
I don't have one.
I mean, it could just be that the servers are playing silly buggers.
Yeah, maybe. If you can see everything, that's good though.
Yeah,
Let's see.
I mean, you're going through your skills at the moment, aren't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so I can see everything up to date.
Cool. Quest. 22.
So I rang James Atkinson today,
Who?
the guy you had an argument with on my birthday,
Right.
and asked him the question about whether he considers Siri and others to be artificial intelligence.
Right.
And then he starts launching into the whole, law is a shady business and people lie and,
Oh yeah, people lie. Duh.
it's gone down on Discord again, so there's definitely something.
Alright, for now I'll just have to shush you.
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave the screen share open because it might come back.
Yeah.
Because it might even be a refreshing issue. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Unless they're trying to push you to pay them.
I mean, maybe. Certainly a possibility. I wouldn't put it past them, but who knows.
But I can hear the game through the Discord, so when she starts talking, I'll shut up.
Cool. So you can hear it through Discord then, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's all we need.
Yeah, I just can't see it, but then I'm planning on buying the game and playing it myself at some point, so I'm not massively
Yeah.
inconvenienced.
Let's take a look.
But yeah, I was just surprised that this normal, rational human being that took care of me when I was homeless and made sure I had food and shelter and stuff suddenly turns into this giant conspiracy nut, all because Donald Trump became president.
Yeah, apparently that's been happening a lot.
It's insane.
Yeah. But like, it's really weird because it's like it doesn't occur to them that Donald Trump could be lying to them as well. Like,
Yeah, but
he's the
what makes
biggest
it
grifter,
worse?
you know,
I mean, how do you think he became as rich as he is? You know,
his dad. Yeah.
you don't get that rich without doing something wrong at some point. You
The
know.
thing is, though, is he's not even a good businessman. Like, if you had his money and you just put it in like an investment account, you would have more money than Donald Trump currently has.
Yeah.
Like, so he's not even a good businessman. He bankrupted like 2 casinos. Like, how do you even do that?
I'm sorry for the wait, but all goods
Especially
entering the
when
city are
it's
subject
rigged
to
to
search.
the
This
house
is
to win.
outrageous. We're loyal citizens.
You're in for a treat. It's quite
It's
a
just like, I don't get how people are thinking that like he's the only honest guy. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do? Just sit here and let
But
it...
fortunately,
What's going on?
he will
Dawn's in
hopefully
there somewhere.
have a lot of.
And so's Aaron,
court cases.
that other Outlander I talked to the night before the
Deal.
proving.
But
Aaron
apparently
said
he was
he'd
thinking of
introduce me to
running in
his sister if I
2024
visited
just
Meridian.
as a way to make money.
Said she
Not
was
that the
captain
first
of the
time he
Vanguard.
ran would be just to do that anyway.
And he's already attacking the Biden administration when he hasn't even started yet.
Well, he has started, but most of
I
what
mean, in
he's-
terms of he's only warming up.
yeah, most of what he's been doing is undoing Trump's administration for the last 4 years by signing executive orders.
Stop right there. In light of the recent attack, no stranger passes into Meridian without submitting to search.
Recent attack? What are you talking about?
The murder of Captain Ursa and her vanguards, of course. Ambushed by Shadow Carja forces in Red Ridge Pass.
Ursa. You mean Aaron's sister is dead?
How would you know his name?
I know Aaron. Summon him. I need to speak to him.
Ha! I doubt that Aaron, the new captain of the Vanguard, a man in grief, is going to waste his time on a grimy outlander.
Aloy, hey, you're alive. I thought you were dead. Make way, make way.
All the way to Meridian just to see me?
Have you been drinking?
Not really. A little. So you're alive. This we should celebrate. The drink's on me.
We need to talk alone, and you need to pull it together.
Over there.
So you approve?
Of course I approve. From now on, she may come and go from this city as she pleases.
As you wish, sir.
There. Alone as you asked. And what did you want to tell me?
I heard what happened to Ursa. I'm sorry. I know she was special to you.
Special to me? Special to everyone. She always knew what to do. She bossed everyone around. She kept me in line. Now I'm supposed to fill her shoes. And instead, here I am, stumbling around in them.
I lost someone too. At the Proving, the man who raised me. His name was Rost.
That's terrible. Why is it every time something terrible happens, everyone else tells you the worst thing that ever happened to them, so that makes it easier?
Yeah, why is that?
Anyway, there was something you wanted to tell me?
A lot has happened since we last spoke. The Proving was attacked by a group of killers. Not many of us survived.
We were in the village when we heard explosions up on the mountain. Some of your braves came back, said most of the contestants were dead. I've never heard such a wail of grief as the sound that rose up from your people. How did you survive?
How I survived is less important than how I was targeted.
Targeted? What do you mean?
The killers came for me because of Olin.
What are you talking about? That doesn't make sense.
I need to find Olin. I need to know what he knows.
But he's a friend.
No, he's a traitor. I don't know who the killers are or what they want, but I do know that Olin is working with them.
But, I mean, this...
I don't need you to understand, Erend. I just need you to take me to him.
He's not here. He went scrounging for scrap and relics days ago. It could be anywhere.
Are there any places he frequents, places he returns to?
A house. Here in Meridian.
Okay, then take me there. I need to search it.
I guess. As long as I'm there to witness the search.
I need to see Olin's place. Now.
Okay, okay. Come on.
Maybe once Sunfall surrenders,
Yeah.
Meridian will feel whole again.
So many people here all talking at once. How does anyone think?
I don't. I just drink.
But yeah, you were saying. You there?
That girl.
You'll regret
Is
not
she-
stopping when you're in the thick of it.
Oh, Will?
Yeah, one
Apparently
second.
they're letting anyone into the city these days.
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road.
Find goods for a fair price.
How long will a Blood hide in his palace? Blood for blood. Vengeance for Ursa.
Sorry, I was having another coughing fit.
Hide in his palace. Year after year. Why does he spare those
I
who
won't-
enslaved
Sorry.
and tortured and butchered? Erend, you should want vengeance more than anyone. Your own sister murdered, and her death unavenged?
One more word, you scorched out slag, and I'll throw you in jail myself! Now get out of here, or I'll give you all a kick in the ass!
What did he mean about Ursa's murder?
Not now.
Sorry, yeah.
I won't be here next Tuesday.
Alright, cool.
Meeting.
Yeah, that's cool.
If I can get out of it and you're still on, then I'll come in. But
Okay, how are we gonna
That's
get
cool. I
in?
mean, as long as I know in advance.
Oh, that was subtle.
Here we are. Try not to break anything. That, other than the door.
All of this for one man.
It pays to have connections in the Sun King's court.
Upstairs, I guess.
so tomorrow will be your starting hitman.
Yes. It's either that or I was thinking of playing the demo of Outriders or playing the demo of System Shock.
I would go for one of the two demos for now.
Yeah.
Personally.
Do a short series or something.
Yeah, because then you can gauge how much interest there is for you to potentially stream the final product.
Yeah.
Corner of this world is
I
frayed.
played a bit of the
Weird
Outriders
as worn.
demo. That's pretty fun, actually.
I saw somebody else playing it this morning. That's how I know we're not the only ones having technical issues.
Yeah.
Were
they having
how did
issues
that
as
get
well?
here?
Question
Yeah.
is, how to get through it.
Without a key, you won't.
Although
That's a
theirs
ball
is
hatchet
related to
Oseram.
Twitch, whereas
Nothing
ours
gets
seem
through.
to be
We'll see about
Discord.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just weird because when you manually refresh it, it's there, but then it vanishes after a few minutes.
Yeah,
and all I see is your
the way I
profile pic.
See it is like I think it only wants to stream to one place, either to Discord or the Twitch program, as opposed to both at the same time.
But you don't have this problem with Star.
Could be just what I need.
She's streaming though. She's streaming to me, and I'm streaming to Twitch. Whereas
That'd be why.
Whereas with this,
Looks big and heavy.
although I don't know like
Could do a lot of
why we
damage
didn't
if it
have this
fell
issue
down.
last
Let's
time.
give it a little push.
Whereas with this time, I'm streaming to both at the same time.
Yeah. Just don't do another 6 hours of Death Stranding, eh?
Wow, that's finished.
I did say
That's
not
why
to
I
break anything, didn't
finished. If I knew, like I said, if I knew, like, I wouldn't have. I would have just, like, done it on Wednesday, you know.
I was sat there at 11 o'clock going, okay,
Is he
he's
still
still
going?
on. He'll be done by midnight, and then I was at like
1 o'clock.
half midnight, and I was like, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah, I figured you'd like just be sleeping at the desk or something, and like wake up at 2 in the morning and go, all right, I'll go to bed.
Serve and they live.
All right, what's up?
Disobey, and I will open their throats and leave their corpses to prune in the sun.
They took his wife and child captive.
They? Who's they?
The killers. They told him to obey or they'd kill his family.
There, yeah.
No,
Looks like Olin kept a journal.
I can only play
I knew you could
certain
read
games at
contracts, but
night.
I never took you
Yeah?
for a poet.
Like what?
No doubt.
Oh,
Olin knew I was
Well,
tired.
most of my video games at night.
All right.
Because I've got an east-facing
The
window.
books show places
Right.
he visited.
And the sun comes in.
So from like 9 AM till about 4 PM it glares on the TV.
Yeah.
There's your proof.
Um,
Read the last page. He writes about meeting me and the order to kill me.
He called himself a friend. That backstabbing cheat.
Hey, now it's not his fault.
How did you learn to read glyphs? And these things that you see, how do you do it?
The focus. It reveals the unseen.
And Olin's focus, it's the same?
The device is the same, but somehow Olin and the killers can speak to each other with their focuses over distances. And see through each other's focuses too.
I could use
like
one of those.
looking through each other's eyes.
So that's how the killers saw you. Through Olin.
Yes, so far as I can tell. Now that I know where to find Olin, I should be on my way.
All by yourself?
Leave it to me. I'm faster on my own.
Wait. If that device lets you see the unseen,
Out of the way, Erend.
I'm asking you to help me, Aloy. I need to know who killed Ursa. Not just the Shadow Karja army, I know that, but the exact soldiers who did it.
I'm sorry about your sister, but that's
That's
your
rude.
war, not mine.
Don't act like this isn't personal. You came here hunting the people who nearly killed you, who massacred your people. Why should you have justice and not me?
Look, I'll head for Red Ridge Pass, where Ursa's body was found, and wait for you there. A few minutes of your focus is all I need. Don't make me beg.
Red Ridge Pass, you said? I'll see what I can do.
Sorry, yeah.
I mean, so I've been playing a game up until about 2 o'clock in the morning the last few nights.
Yeah.
Because I've only got a small window that I can play it in.
I take it you don't have a decent enough curtains.
Well, I've got a blind, but the trouble is the people who bought it for me and installed it as a housewarming gift got a white one.
Right.
So even when it's down, it still lets too much light in.
Okay.
Yes. Trade.
And I don't have the money at the moment to replace it.
Ah, okay. That's fair.
Because it's quite a wide window, as you know, because you've been over.
Yeah. Pretty huge.
I will leave you.
So it's expensive.
You look capable.
Yeah, it can be.
You might do. Come here if you will.
Let's take a look at all of these shopkeepers. Give me your samples. What can I sell? That one. Turkey. Ammo. Crafting ingredient. Got loads of these. Those. Resistance potion. Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out what I need and what I don't.
Nah, it's cool. But there's an emergency strategy meeting next week.
Yeah.
Because obviously we've not met for nearly 2 years now.
Yeah. Why is that?
Well, because we entered lockdown last February.
Yeah. That's fair. We need anything else?
And we're not likely to be able to meet again until June, October time, so it will have been 2 years. And our treasurer was retiring this year, so we've got to discuss replacements and stuff.
Yeah. Are you volunteering?
Hell no. I can't manage my own money. Sod
That's
managing everyone else's.
It's called embezzling.
you laugh, but that's precisely why I won't go near it. I mean, I'm not saying I would do it, but I know the temptation would be
extreme.
Yeah.
Let's go with that.
So, given that I know that I can't handle temptation very well at the best of times, putting me near large sums of money when I'm broke is probably not a very good idea.
Like, just say suddenly you're communists, like, money.
Well, that's precisely why I don't want to do it. You know, if it was a faceless, nameless corporation that I barely had any connection to,
I'd do it to Amazon. They've got enough.
Then,
What do you want to talk about?
Right?
Speaking of other, if you
But when it's people you actually know and respect, to a point.
till we meet again, my noble Nora, let's have a chat.
No, I've always been a believer of if you don't put me within arm's reach of the temptation, then it won't matter.
Absolutely fair. That's what I'm like. I'm like, this is going to be very bad. Let's not do that.
Because, you know, I can sit here quite comfortably and say it won't happen. Because I won't even let myself get anywhere near it.
Alright, one sec.
Hi there, Outlander. Name's Vilgund. Did you come to the city looking for work? Oh, good shards. Enough to buy garb more becoming of your...
Okay, stop there if you want me to hear you out.
I only meant a well-molded woman such as you. I heard an interesting rumor about a Banuk camp. Tame machines, the rumor said. So I I hired men to investigate. Just investigate, that's all. Those Banuk are canny. Too canny. I paid up front. Well, half up front. I've had no word back.
So now you're hiring someone to find the last men you hired.
They're a sunk cost. This rumor's worth more to me.
So is there any more to the rumor about this camp?
The last bunch just wanted to know about the reward. You're a smart one. This camp isn't even big enough for a name up where the snow won't thaw. They say the Banuk there live alongside machines. Peaceful as you like. Keep them, use them, sing to them. If it's true, if we learned how they do it, think how valuable that would be to all the tribes.
When you say valuable, you mean they'd pay you for it.
Girl, I'm not made of straw.
What can you tell me about the Banuk?
The Banuk women. Snow witches all. Cold eyes, cold...
Arts?
They choose to live up there in Ban-Ur, in the ice. Trying to have a conversation, it's like chipping them out of the stuff. They prefer machines for company. That's why I'm putting my shards on this rumor.
Then they might not want outsiders to know about this place.
Their mystic act. No care for possessions, for luxuries. Pile of slag. Those people bargain harder than the winter frost.
Are you some kind of merchant? You don't seem to have any wares.
More of an explorer.
But you send other people to do your exploring.
All right, more of an opportunist. Girl. Nora girl. Huntress. We live in a world of opportunities. Risky opportunities. But why should risk stand in the way of a lucrative prospect for the likes of me? All right. I'm more of a gambler.
If I did look into your rumor...
You won't need to climb up the shoulders of the world for it. It's on the edge of Banuk land, beneath the anvil of the moon. And you look like you know your way around the savage east. The east.
Oh, wow!
If it's true they walk among machines without fear in this camp, well, you can't miss that, can you? Payment on return.
He's he's got what I call foot and mouth syndrome.
Right.
Right. I need to pick up some more quests. So I apologise for the excessive shushing. But
That's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, as I was saying, if I can avoid temptation altogether, then that's probably the better way of doing it. Besides, I'm already an officer, so I can't serve in two positions at once.
That's fair.
But the fact is that...
Nora, from the look of you. I bet you're a machine hunter, too.
I've hunted my share.
Well, let me give you a word of advice. Don't bother with the Hunter's Lodge. If you're not Carja, you'll never rise in the ranks.
What's wrong with the hunting lodge, exactly?
Nothing, if you like stuck-up bigots. I'm known as a skilled hunter back home in Ban-Ur, so I thought I'd try my luck at the lodge. I thought it'd be simple. Hunt machines, gain ranks, see who's best. But it doesn't work like that at all. It's all rigged to keep the Carja at the head of the line. I don't need those snobs to tell me I can hunt. I'm going home.
Are you saying that you have to be Carja to join the lodge?
No, they take other tribes. But they have rules in place to keep Outlanders from gaining ranks. When Sun King Avad took over, he promised a new day, Meridian open to all. But it's a sham. Sure, you can get a seat at the feast, but you just can't eat the food.
Sounds like someone needs to shank things up at the lodge.
Maybe, but it isn't gonna be me. If you decide to go, be sure to give them a good old-fashioned Banuk farewell mark in my honor.
A Banuk farewell mark? What's that?
Piss on the floor. Preferably someplace they won't find it until it gets nice and sour.
Oh, what?
kind of gross.
It's like somebody that got revenge on her boyfriend by putting shrimp inside of his curtain rail.
That sounds dreadful. Better than putting it in like his radiator, I guess.
Well, it's too easily found in the radiator, is what she said, and I was like, why would you do that?
You must really hate the guy.
I mean, he did cheat on her, but still.
Well, that'd be why then. Sounds fair to me. Where the hell is this?
It's always the ones you least expect to cause you trouble.
Yeah, but being a treasurer, you need to be pretty good at math.
Good at finance, I
Won't cost you a shard just to look.
And that's something I'll never be good at.
You're the one the Vanguard has been crowing about. The Nora who tracks criminals and traitors with her second sight.
Yeah,
if only you'd use it to help me. A thief raided my home and took my brother's sword.
Tell me about the robbery. Don't leave anything out.
It was brazen and professional. They took only the sword, my most valuable possession. The thief went out through the window and scared the shadow off my steward. Otherwise, it would have been a clean getaway.
Why would someone steal the sword?
It's priceless. Made from the burnished antler of a lancehorn, finely inlaid with studded stones all down the...
Okay, I get it.
Forgive me. That's not even why it's important. The 12th Sun King gave it to my brother for his military service. He was killed in battle during the Liberation. I was saving it for my nephew who's stranded at Sunfall with the Karja in Shadow.
How did your nephew wind up in Sunfall?
Most of the old clergy backed the Mad Sun King, so when he fell, they ran out of fear of retribution. As an honor guard to a venerable priest, my nephew had no choice but to go with them. Now that my brother is gone, my nephew is my heir, so that sword really belongs to him. And after all he's been through, I won't be able to look him in the face if I don't get it back.
I'll see what I can do about the robbery.
Have a word with my steward if you need to. He saw the thief escape. And listen, all I want is the sword back. Meridian, and my family for that matter, has seen enough strife already. If I can get it back, all is forgiven. No retribution necessary.
Where is it? Robbing the rich.
It's the sword of Albion with which he can rule the world.
You saw the thief make a run for it?
My back was to the wall,
It's the
you see.
He-Man sword.
Wasn't expecting someone to crawl out the window. He ran past me, dressed in gray, clutching the sword. That's all I saw. By the sun, my heart nearly seized up.
You'll like what I have for sale, I promise.
Oh, wrong button.
The thief broke the lattice on the way out. Drops of blood breathing away.
Yeah. Was it?
By the power of Grey Sword?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it has a name.
We're still on the trail.
Yeah, but I don't think they ever said what it was in the series. Let me... Since I'm not doing much, let me look it up and I'll let you know.
Sure. Witness.
Fine goods for a fair price.
You're looking for artifacts.
Yes, I work on their behalf. I'm as if you... You ready?
Really?
What?
It's just called the Power Sword.
Come on back.
Nice and
I'll
original.
pay well for Banuk relics,
Right.
Outlander.
I'm like, that's disappointed me now. I was expecting this uber fancy...
Yeah, like the Sword of Grayskull or something.
The Sword of Ultimate Power or Ultimate Muscles or Manliness.
Where is the witness I'm supposed to be talking to?
Not... it's just the Power Sword.
Yeah.
Because, you know, he gets his power from the sword.
It is named thus. It has power. It is a sword. Hence, power sword.
Would you like to buy something today? All over the city.
But I suppose it was the 80s, they didn't really...
I don't know. You'd think it'd be like fancier names, right? Maybe.
It's smelly,
Right.
It's noisy. It's busy. It's
Fine
crowded.
goods for a fair price.
But
Fine
it's
goods.
Someone here. There we go.
Did someone run past here, holding a sword?
Sure did. He grabbed some linen off the stand here and took off down the stairs behind you. He was bleeding, so maybe he needed a binding. Blast it! That was expensive cloth. I can't believe I paid for that thief's bandage.
I praise Sun King Avad every day, granting his father's wealth for his son.
Go to the base of the stairs.
Long time.
Which one? Oh. Grab that. Wrong way, I guess. Ah, there we go.
If the thief came this way, there's only one way he could have gone. Forward.
Yeah, well, like, maybe it's like the Thundercats one.
Thief. Someone must have seen him go by.
The Sword of Thundera.
Yeah. See, that one has a name.
Because it came from Thundera.
Did you see anyone?
That's why
like
they're
me?
called
He might have
Thundercats.
been holding a sword.
Yeah. Almost
Ugh.
crashed into me, too. He ran down the parapet here and went down the lift. No way you'll catch him now. I didn't see a sword, though.
He wasn't carrying anything.
Not a damn thing. Just ran like his ass was on fire.
The thief must have ditched the sword.
His lord should never have admitted those
Where?
interceptions.
Maybe he
Oh,
had
he
hope.
did.
That merchant stall would have been a convenient drop-off.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I quite like the reboot, and then like they finished it after one season.
Yeah, and then came out with that god-awful current series. Have you seen it?
No.
Don't.
Because like,
if you've
I never saw the original series. I just saw that reboot. Essentially, I was like, "That's pretty good."
I grew up with the
He looks like the
original
thief got
series
away,
in the
but
90s.
without the sword.
I
I thought maybe he dropped it off somewhere. Like here, for instance?
What? No. I had nothing to do with this.
I guess we'll see when I get the city guard to toss your stall and question your customers.
Hold on. There's more to this. You've got a reputation for shining
You are?
light in the
I
darkness,
just got
so
here.
I know you'll listen. You're right. The sword was passed to me, and I passed it on to someone else. It's going to be sold, but not for profit. The shards will go to people in need.
You expect me to believe that?
I can prove it. Meet my friends at the watermill in the lower village. They'll explain everything. If they don't convince you, come right back with the guards. I'm not going anywhere.
It wouldn't matter if you did. I'd find you. But all right. I'll check out the watermill. Okay.
I hope I don't have to
Guess
kill
I should
her
go to this
friends.
watermill then to find out what's going on.
Because it's an ambush.
Probably.
I mean, it'd be self-defense at that point, but you know, still.
So yeah, I grew up with the Thundercats in the 90s, but I much preferred the one that Cartoon Network did a couple of years ago.
I really enjoyed it.
And then they came out with this god-awful Thundercats Raw.
I saw like one that was like the Teen Titans styly.
Yeah, that is Thundercats Raw.
That's what I figured.
And it is absolutely puking upon the memory that is Thundercats.
I mean, I don't think you're the audience for that version, probably.
Even people that are the audience are saying they preferred the other one.
Yeah, I'll take your word for it, I guess. I've not seen
But
it.
yeah, I mean, I just don't like cartoons that treat kids as if they're idiots, you know?
That's fair. You seen Clone Wars?
No.
That's a good series.
I've tried watching the first episode a couple of times, but I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah. It does take a little while to get good though. And some of the episodes are out of order.
Yeah, because I hear there was issues with airing it.
Yeah. Like, they didn't render it in time, so I had to show it out of order.
Yeah.
Which is a bit weird if you ask me, but I guess
it wouldn't be the first time. There was a cartoon in the 90s called Excalibur.
Right.
Or sorry, early 2000s, not 90s.
Yeah.
Like Clone Wars and Reboot were completely computer generated.
Yeah, yeah.
And they also had to keep showing episodes out of order.
Huh.
I'm assuming for the same reason, but it was the main reason I started watching Channel 5, because their kids stuff on Saturday and Sunday mornings was much better than BBC and ITV.
Yeah.
Because it had like Beyblade and stuff like that.
I remember watching Johnny Quest because of like the Quest World stuff.
Might need that.
Where that was CG as well.
I watched the original Johnny Quest.
I think it was kind of a reboot though.
Yeah, the one you saw was the reboot.
Yeah, one sec.
I was told to expect you, Aloy. I suppose you want answers. Well, it's not complicated. We collect valuable objects from people who don't need them, sell them for shards, and use the money to help the needy at Sunfall.
You mean you steal?
If you want to call it that.
I mean, it
from
is what it
hogs
is.
who've had their turn at the trough for generations.
Ravon didn't seem like a hog to me.
He stinks just like the rest of them, of wealth and contentment, while people beneath him suffer.
Who exactly gets the shards at Sunfall?
Not the bastards in the fortress. We use the shards to make sure the poor in Shadowside get to eat, or bandage their wounds. They only went west because they had to. Trust me, I know. My wife was chained up with a bunch of servants and herded with them. They starved to death, still bound together.
Oh. I'm sorry.
So am I.
Where's the sword now?
Safe. I haven't sold it yet.
What do you expect me to do now? Walk away?
I was hoping you'd help us. They say you can track like a stalker. Well, my partner Nassan disappeared near the branded shore. He was bound for Sunfall, along with an entire shipment of food. If you found that, you'd be helping a lot of people.
I'll consider it. But only if you return the sword to Ravon.
I knew you were gonna say that. Fine, I'll return the damn blade. Nassan was supposed to meet his contact at an old campfire on the fork near the branded shore. Start looking there. But be careful. Lots of machines out there, and lots of Shadow Karja. And not the needy kind, but they're tormentors.
Tormentors.
Our merchants. They'll assume Tiki low.
Of course. It's oh, do this for me and I'll get you your sword back. Of course it is. What is this, the Mandalorian?
Those tribesmen really don't mince their words, do they? Jeez.
That'll help.
Like, but first, a side quest. Alright. Let's fight some machines.
I've not actually watched beyond the first episode of The Mandalorian yet.
It's great, it's so good.
I planned to, I just was going to wait for more of it to come out, and then real life stuff got in the way.
Right.
Like exams and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And the only time I have to watch it, I'm lying in bed, so I don't want to end up falling asleep and missing stuff.
Yeah.
But next exam after the one that's coming up this month is the last one of the year.
Yeah.
So I'll probably catch up with it all then.
Yeah, it's good. Like, season 1 and 2 are both really, really good. Music is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Crafted stelios. Oh damn, this is driving me halfway across the country. Go to the fork in the road.
Just stay out of their way for now.
Trouble is, too, one of my healing methods for my chest infections, so that I don't have to rely on antibiotics, is to turn the heating up.
Yeah.
Problem is, I then boil to death. And if I turn the heating down, the chest infection comes back.
Yeah. Can
So
you
it's
not,
like...
take off layers or something?
Yeah, but if I do that, then I have to raise the heating even higher.
Okay.
Because my chest is sensitive.
Right. Maybe get
why
a
I...
water bottle or something.
That's it. I'm already gone.
Yeah, I've got a small one, but it's just not big enough.
Is there not some sort of like heating blanket, kind of like an under blanket for like your bed?
Yes, there is, but there is. The problem with that is where I use a hospital bed.
Right. I don't mean. I mean like a heated covers of some description.
Yeah, I was just explaining that if I put that on my bed, it will melt my mattress.
Right. So if you're only using it like when you're
so I'd
away.
have to. Yeah, I was just about to finish explaining. You interrupted. It's all good. If I use it in the wheelchair, the wire can get wrapped round the wheelchair and break. So it's just easier to put the heating on.
There's no battery ones then.
Not that I'm aware of, but you never know. That could be our $1 million idea that makes us richer than Trump.
Where's the other one? Oh, come on. Hey. Sorry, yeah. Just had to focus a little bit though.
That's cool. So, I've just literally read a fascinating fact for me.
Yeah?
I'm playing Persona 5 while you're streaming,
Yeah,
because obviously,
yeah.
where I can't physically see your stream, there's
Yeah, no, I
little
completely get it.
point in, you know.
That's kind. No excuse is necessary.
And it said that the reason your voice is different on a recording when you hear yourself speak is because when you hear your voice normally, you hear it through your bones.
Yes. Yeah, that is definitely.
And the voice you hear on the recording makes you uncomfortable.
Because it's similar, but not quite. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of like the uncanny valley of voices.
Which I knew there had to be something going on, because obviously the vibration makes your voice louder to you.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect it to be because of your skull.
Yeah. You don't really keep in mind the fact that, like, vibrations go through your fleshy body because, you know, your larynx is attached to the rest of your structure, you know.
Yeah.
But that is a critical part of why you sound different. when you play a recording back then you do normally.
Because I must admit, I hate my voice when I hear it playing back at me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that isn't me.
Yeah, but you ask anyone else, they're like, yeah, that's you.
Right?
Yeah.
And it's also why the voice is different on the telephone, because it's synthetic.
Yeah.
Because people do say I have a different telephone voice.
Yeah. You put one on, do you?
Oh yes, quite frequently, sir. One must never be. When I'm in public, I sound like a rough common oik, and then when I'm on the phone, I'm this rich old white man, you know. No, it's just I feel more comfortable talking on the phone than in person.
Yeah.
Unless I really know you well, like I've known you for the last almost 20 years now.
Yeah, too long.
Yeah, I mean we've been friends for 18 years, give or take.
Yeah. A while.
Doesn't feel like it.
Right on target.
Even though we barely knew each other back then.
Yeah.
Just passing in the corridor sort of thing, you know.
Well, like, we didn't really become friends until that.
Yeah. And it was mostly because we went to college together.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think we had a single lesson together.
We just kind of saw each other in passing, right?
Yeah. To be brutally honest, I remember we met at college, but not how we met.
I mean, I think we had some mutual friends or something.
Yeah, it was through friends of friends or something.
Yeah, it's been a while, so it's not like I can remember it.
And then I think I bumped into you in Eastleigh at some point.
Yeah.
And that's when we actually started hanging out. Because I think it was when you were just about to start for Domino's.
That wouldn't surprise me. Been a while. Thankfully got out of there.
So did you ever have any of those sexy situations?
No, I wish. To be fair, like if anybody offered to pay like with their body rather than money, I'd be like, no, this is like 20 quid. You know how expensive Domino's is? I don't have a spare 20 quid. Fuck off. Like, I'd be like, this better be the best lay of my life. But no.
Do you know what? Do you know what annoys me about England versus America when it comes to pizza?
What?
We don't have the 30-minute rule, or it's free.
Oh, yeah. I have like had someone answer the door just in their robes, and like you can practically see everything. That wasn't pleasant because she was not good looking.
It's probably why she answered the door like that, trying to get her.
Yeah.
Right, you know.
Like, can you like do me a favor and not scar me for life? Like, I wouldn't answer the door like that. I'm the best.
I try not to, anyway.
I wouldn't want to inflict that on anyone.
Right? I don't even like looking at my naked body. Why the hell would you? Yeah.
It's like, I gotta suffer, so you gotta suffer as well, you know. quite the malicious mindset, if you ask me.
Right?
But yeah, no sexy times, unfortunately.
Keep that for later.
No, extra large, extra sausage.
There, I see.
You mean pornos lie to people?
Right. I think the funniest joke I had was like, porn gives you unrealistic expectations as to when the plumbers, how quickly a plumber's gonna arrive at your house.
Right.
And I'm like, they have a point. You've got at least 2 weeks at minimum before they arrive. And that's
and then it's like, and then it's like, we'll be there between 9 and 10 p.m.
Yeah, 9 a.m. and 10 p.m. I like, what was it? There was a really funny joke where, like, it was, what's his name? British comedian.
John Cleese?
No, really popular one with the funny hair. He looks kind of Chinese.
I know who you mean.
Michael McIntyre. There
Yeah.
you go. And he's like, our Amazon delivery will arrive between like 9 a.m. and like 9 p.m. or whatever. And or like, you know, our parcel for like, you know, Royal Mail is going to deliver between these times. And it's like, imagine if you could do that and they're charging you for something. It's like, oh, my next card digit is between 0 and 9.
Need them soon enough.
Crack me up.
Yeah, it always amazes me how companies get away with taking your money there and then, but you have to wait 10 days for a refund?
Absolutely. It's like, you're fine with taking my goddamn money, but when it comes to returning the fucking money... Oh, now it takes like 20 fucking days.
When you know they can do it in 5 minutes.
I mean...
Because they...
I mean, I just don't think that, they have to take that long, but there are probably structures in place
they're
that
hunting me.
means that they have to double check the repayment sort of thing.
Yeah, I
It's still,
suppose
like, but it's still like frustrating because, you know, they're fine with instantly taking it, but instantly returning it, suddenly that's a problem, you know.
Yeah. I think it could go back to the days when people would pay with checks.
Maybe. But at the same time, it's like, you know, nobody really uses checks anymore, so why is that still a thing? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if you can send me money from there within 2 minutes,
yeah.
Why does it take them 10 days to unmark something?
Who is this?
Because all they're doing is removing the earmark on the card.
I dropped it!
Give it everything you got.
Is that Odin? Do I have to run quests like select?
I'm glad that's over with.
Yeah,
Thanks
it
for
is
the help.
Odin. Well, I guess I'm here now. Alright. Sorry about that.
Come on over here and have a word.
Nah, it's cool.
Alright, Olin. Let's talk about your sister.
What are you doing out here all alone? Where are your men?
I'm not gonna risk their lives. I don't mind putting my worthless ass on the line, but not theirs. Sorry I had to drag you into it.
He's a bit harsh on
Don't
himself,
worry.
isn't he?
This is just an average day for me. You know, take down some machines, track some killers.
Right. I'd hate to see a busy morning for you. Ready to get started?
Tell me exactly what happened to Ursa. Start from the beginning.
No one knows for sure. She left in the middle of the night with
I'm
few
gonna
of her
mute
best
my
men.
mic set.
Okay.
Her best men. But she didn't bring you?
No. I'd been drinking a lot. Maybe she thought damn, I don't know. I couldn't hack it. Search parties found their bodies the next day and the corpses of some Shadow Karja cowards. It was an ambush. The Shadow Karja are animals. They beat her so bad we can't even show her face before burial.
I'm so sorry, Erend.
Yeah, well, when I find the soldiers who did this, they'll be sorry too.
You don't have any idea why she left in the middle of the night?
No. But it must have been urgent. A message, a report of some new Shadow Karja threat, I don't know.
Why would the Shadow Karja do this?
Because they hate us. And Ursa most of all. She teamed up with Avad to kick their asses out of Meridian. They've been licking their wounds for 2 years, but they finally found a way to get back at her.
Are you sure you're all right?
Well, I'm sober, so no.
Fair.
Well, I'm glad you're thinking straight at least.
Don't get used to it.
All right. Show me where Ursa fell, and I'll do what I can to help.
Come on, follow me.
Sorry, I went to get drink.
Yeah, that's cool.
Why would Ursa come
That's
all
the
way
other
out here?
downside to having the heating on.
It doesn't make sense.
Thirsty.
Mm.
Yeah. That's kind of why I got a water
Is
bottle.
this Shadow Karja territory?
It also encourages me to
They
drink
broke the
more
ceasefire
water
soon
as
they
well.
set foot in the cliff.
Because otherwise I'm just like drinking Pepsi or something.
Yeah. Speaking of, that's what got me thinking about refunds today. Because Coke Deliver, as you know, because I told you about it. The other half of my order still hasn't turned up.
Right.
Alright, this is it. Where the...
So I was like,
our soldiers have been
hey,
over it, but maybe that fancy artifact of yours can find a clue or something. Please.
These look like
I need to find the bastards that did
Dragmarks.
this.
Sorry, yeah.
like, it's been 3 days since the delivery day. Where the hell is the other half of my order?
Yeah, yeah.
And it's been a week since I placed the order.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
they haven't
and it
given
was...
you any sort of updates or anything.
No, they've said it's obviously gotten lost and they'll reorder it, but I haven't got a confirmation saying they did that.
Right.
So I'm super pissed because that was like 30 quid they took.
A Shadow Karja spear.
That's fair.
Strange. Not a scratch on it.
Spin.
Pretty sharp. Never seen action. They look like smears.
You know, if it was like a $5 or a $10, I wouldn't be too bothered.
Yeah, you can afford to wait a little longer.
Did someone move a body?
Oh, I'm going to, but it's the fact that they promised it would be with me within 3 days.
Forms a
Yeah,
line,
one sec.
as if blood dripped off the edge of something, like a cart. See, cart tracks. I think someone moved the bodies here, then scattered them across the field.
Wait. Are you saying the dead found here were killed somewhere else? But why would the Shadow Karja do that?
At this point, I'm not taking it for granted that the Shadow Karja are responsible.
Of course they were.
Well, let's follow these tracks and find out.
I mean, they could be the primary suspects and not be the actual culprits.
Right?
That's
How many times has that
investigative
happened in real life? You know?
That's exactly how investigative works, you know.
Yeah. So, a friend of mine
Right.
got married a while back and divorced recently.
Right.
She was editing some work for a university.
Right.
And her ex-wife's name came up as one of the graduates for that year.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, this person only wanted their doctorate to be pretentious.
Right.
And I was like, is that how higher education actually works?
It wouldn't surprise
Because
me if some academia is like that, but like, you're not gonna get a
get why they
doctorate,
wanted
which is
Ursa
like,
dead.
what, a
Why
6-year
think of
thing?
ambush?
There's more to
Just
this.
so you can
And we're
get
gonna
a
figure it
doctor in
out.
front of your name, typically.
I mean, this is exactly what that person did.
I mean,
and it's
typically,
like,
I mean, like, you know.
And I'm there like, okay, I'm doing a law course that's normally 3 years over 6 years.
Yeah.
Because of my health issues.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm considering doing a Masters of Law, which can be anywhere from a single year to another 3 years. But that's only because if I want to be like a top barrister,
Yeah.
I would need it.
So you'll be a doctor lawyer.
No, a master's, not a doctorate.
Right.
But I could go on to do a PhD in law, which would then entitle me to...
One sec.
These guys aren't Shadow Karja. They're from my tribe, the Oseram.
Is this how your people usually greet each other?
Yeah, trouble.
Which would then entitle me to do anything I want, right?
We can flash.
But it's like, even as a basic lawyer, I can earn £100,000 a year. Why the hell would I need to go that far and get a doctorate?
That's what I mean, like.
Now keep them guessing.
And the fact of the matter is, just graduating as a lawyer gives me a fancy-ass title anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'd be a Bachelor of Law, and I'd have Esquire after my name.
Yeah.
So I'd be Mr. Hot Wheels Esquire.
Mr. Wheels. Not Dr. Lawyer.
Uh-oh. What's that?
But then I'd be Dr. Esquire, and it's like, do I really need that?
Dr. Wheels Esquire.
Could you just think of what that would be like on my letterhead?
You'll be even more pretentious. God forbid.
I mean, I'm already ginger and have a big head. I don't need, you know.
Yeah, right. Like your head isn't big enough.
But it does just seem hollow.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can't imagine spending 6 years on a doctorate just because I wanted a doctorate personally.
Not
I
to
would
mention
have to really like that.
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that you have to come up with a unique and original thesis and have it published.
Well, it just has to be not very well researched, I think. And you have to come at it from an angle that it hasn't been.
And it's like, that's too much effort.
Yeah, exactly.
Frankly.
Like,
If
that's what
I
mean.
can earn
wouldn't be able to do it.
I mean, I could understand it if you wanted to be like a university teacher.
Yeah, one sec.
Oseram, not Shadow Karja. Looks like I was wrong about everything, as usual. Please, use that second sight of yours. I have to know what really happened.
I'm on it.
I mean, it's the least I can do. Right, yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I wouldn't be able to imagine, like, just getting a doctorate just for that. I mean, as cool as that would be, to be, you know, Dr. Rayner, that's a lot of time to spend in academia for a title.
But then you're Asian, it's expected. It's like, why are you not a doctor yet?
Why are you not a doctor already? Yeah. Why are you bad at math?
But no, it's like her doctorate is in sports science.
Okay.
Those rocks, they're shattered.
And it's like, why?
So much blood.
Why not, I guess?
What are those leather straps?
Why do you need to be a doctor to know how to work out? Yeah.
You'd be surprised. Like,
armor straps.
It's essentially like biology.
And a rock with blood on it.
I mean, it's still a discipline in science, because, like, and arguably, biology is a lot more random than, like, chemistry and physics, because even though a lot of chemical reactions occur the same way, the way it interacts with each person's biology, it goes at different rates. It's weird.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. It's why vaccines will work for some people and won't for others.
Yeah.
For example.
Well, that's why some people have like allergic reactions and can't take certain vaccines and stuff like that. But yeah.
And why some people never get sick.
Yeah, absolutely. Some people,
and others.
Did you know there are people?
These look like Vanguard weapons.
There are certain people who never get headaches, never get migraines.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's insane to me. And there are others who are fine, who basically have the equivalent of an 8-hour sleep after 4 hours. And I'm like, imagine how much more time I would have to waste if I was like that.
Because for me, I'm sort of like that. I go through periods where I have to sleep dead on 9 or 10 o'clock at night because I'm exhausted. And then I've got other days like I'm going through at the moment where I can be up till, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'll wake up again at 9 o'clock in the morning.
For me,
and I'm good for the whole day.
Yeah, for me, I'm more of a night owl. I still need like a crazy amount of sleep, but like I know for a fact that I still need 8 hours. But it's just like my brain gets clearer at night.
By the tripod.
Yeah.
Because everything's quieter and like there's no like distractions.
It's weird for me because it's similar.
Yeah.
I have to have some noise on all around me.
Oh yeah, I have stuff on in the background, but it's like I don't know, I just find more focus.
When I'm sat in the living room and the sun's shining, I cannot concentrate.
Yeah. Alright, one sec.
But as soon as...
This is Ursa's helmet. I thought she died in the field below, but must have been here. All this trickery. For what? Feels like it's just to torture me.
I have a theory, but it takes a little imagination.
So far, your theories are better than other people's facts.
Well, I'd help.
All right. I think the Oseram ambushed Ursa and her men with a new weapon. They mounted it on that tripod up there. It fires waves of force, maybe sound. Looks like it cracked the stone there. I think it paralyzes people instead of killing them. It dropped the Vanguard right there. No blood on their weapons. No fight.
But why paralyze them if you're only gonna move them and gut them?
They were trying to hide something. Look here, a bloody rock.
That they used to smash Ursa's face in.
Or someone else's. These leather straps have been cut, as if they took the armor off someone.
That can't be. Her body is lying in state in Meridian. I saw it.
You said she was unrecognizable. Maybe they switched another body into her armor, someone around the same size, and mutilated it enough, so it could have been anyone. Even Ursa. Go back to Meridian. Take another look at that body. If it's really Ursa, of course I'm wrong. But if I'm right...
You could still be alive.
Then my sister could be alive. I'm going. Meet me back there when you can.
I like this guy. He's cool. Have you have you played this game before?
Some of it.
Or have
You've
you
already
seen it?
gone well past where I'm at.
I mean, have you seen the story before, or like?
No.
Right. There's quite a few. Sorry, this isn't really big spoilers, but like, there are quite a few people who are interested in Aloy as you play through the story. Understand?
Yeah, well.
She's the main character, and she's strong. And,
And
hot.
she's a freak of nature.
Yeah. But like, I like that there's no overt romance to any of it as well. But yeah, it's good. I love this game. I'll be excited when the new one comes out, but I probably won't stream it unless it releases on PC.
Yeah.
Because I'm not getting a PS5. Well, just because,
I mean, I'll get one when I can get one, but they're still pretty hard to get hold of at the moment.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
I am not paying scalpers prices.
Yeah, exactly.
At this rate, it'll be before the PS6 comes out.
Right. Like, I want to technically get a PS5, but I'm not going to stream with it.
Yeah, no, understandable. Because you'd have to buy like a capture card. And...
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot more hassle than me just streaming on my PC.
Right.
So I'm just not going to deal with it.
I was going to stream with my PS4 until I found out that you needed all that extra stuff, and I was like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, it's worth it if you're trying to make a career out of it, I guess, but like...
Yeah, but I've got way more games on the PC than I do on the PlayStation.
And it doesn't, and that doesn't require a capture card, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to do it just because of the odd exclusive,
Yeah, exactly. And frankly, if it's an exclusive, then everyone else will be streaming it.
I mean, that is a good way of doing it, really, as well. Like, because there's more attention to that game, because it's new, you can potentially get a larger audience.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, but at the same time, people are like, well, this streamer's more established and I prefer them. Why would I watch this little
Because
unknown?
you're streaming at a time when other people might not be as well.
There should be
So let's say I watch a guy that normally streams between like 10 PM and like 2 AM because they're American. Because you're doing it earlier, you might get more views, essentially, is what it comes down to.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. It's just like, for me, it seems like a big expense for potentially not enough.
Yeah, no, I completely
payoff.
I mean, ultimately, me doing that would just be an excuse to buy a PlayStation 5.
And this is my point of view on it as well, because it's like, the games will eventually come to PC if they're not already.
Saying that, like, this and Death Stranding, I was pretty surprised when both of these came to PC. Like, just because typically PlayStation exclusives don't.
Shadow Carjack.
No, they don't.
It's like, you know, if Ragnarok suddenly came on PC, I'd be like, holy shit.
I mean, I must admit that I was kind of annoyed. Because I wanted Spider-Man to come to the PC.
Yeah, there's no way that's ever gonna happen.
And I waited 2 years just in case.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? It's now Game of the Year edition for 12 quid. It ain't going to the PC.
Yeah.
So I bought it.
Yeah, there's no way that's ever gonna happen. Sony both owns the IP and basically the superhero, so.
But then people said that about the Yakuza game, and now all 6 of them are coming. Sorry, all 7 of them are on PC.
Yeah, but you're talking about a superhero that is owned by Sony, literally.
See, I thought he'd been handed back to Disney because of the Avengers.
No, so they worked out a deal. They worked out a deal to allow him to appear in Avengers and the MCU in exchange for helping them with the Spider-Man film.
So, in other words, he was on loan.
Yes, and he still is. The next Spider-Man film is the last one that is co-op between Sony and MCU.
Because I hear the MCU are trying to buy him back.
They trust me when I say they would love to, but Sony ain't gonna let that happen.
Well, no, because they get all that Disney money.
It's too much of a cash cow for them to do so.
Because I'm kind of upset with, is it Fox or Sony? I can't remember, but they've completely ruined the Fantastic Four.
I think it's Fox. But Fox is owned by Marvel now, so the next Fantastic Four will be MCU.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, I liked the newest one with Mara.
I actually liked the cheesier older ones. But I like Jessica Alba, so...
I was about to say it's because of Jessica Alba, isn't it?
There's a certain level of cheese that I like in the old Fantastic Fours, though.
I'm not gonna die. I mean... I was closer to the age that it was aimed at.
Yeah.
When those came out.
Yeah.
But I've only ever really seen one thing that I enjoyed Jessica Alba in.
Right.
And even that was pushing it.
And that was?
Dark Angel.
Okay, yeah.
This is where it ends.
Her debut.
Well, no, her debut was The Secret Life of Alex Mack with Alicia Onney.
Well, it's her first lead.
Solo outing, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've liked a couple of the movies she's been in.
Yeah.
Like Good Luck, Chuck.
She was also in... What was that, Zack Snyder? Normal Irish one.
I can't think of it. Probably know it when you say it, but I can't.
It's like in black and white and stuff.
Oh, Sin City?
That's it, yeah. She was pretty good in that.
I didn't watch Sin City, I have to admit.
No?
Because it was in black and white.
No. I figured if someone liked black and white stuff, it would be useful.
Look, just because I had a black and white TV as I was growing up.
Wow. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't.
No, I actually did. The first episode of Charmed that came on, I saw it in black and white. Because I only had a black and white TV at the time. So it kind of shocked me when I started watching them in colour.
Yeah.
Because technology would advance to the point where you could watch TV on your computer.
Yeah.
So I bought a capture card for TV for my computer, and that was the first time I had a colour TV in my bedroom.
I don't think we had technology as black and white TV. CRT.
I mean, we had it because my parents bought a TV set in 1985.
Right.
When colour TVs were still very expensive.
I'm done. Am I done?
So that my sister could watch kids' TV.
Okay. These guys.
And then when my sister got a brand new colour TV, they handed me the black and white one.
Of course you got the hand-me-down. Oh shit.
Story of my life, mate.
Oh, goddamn.
My sister always got everything brand new, and I was always giving her leftovers.
Yeah.
Even if it was me that asked for it
This
first.
must be where Nassan was supposed to check in.
Not surprised.
But yeah, I don't want to sound bitter or anything, but you know. Well, I'm angry, I'm not bitter. There's a slight difference.
That's true. Maybe a little bit.
Well, I mean in terms of I don't take it out on other people.
Yeah.
I know what they were like, I know what they did, other people have witnessed it. I'm not gonna get over it because I did nothing wrong and didn't deserve it.
Yeah.
But I try not to
stand against us.
tar everyone by their brush.
Yeah.
Although it is difficult at times.
Well,
like, the important part is you realise that you're not supposed to. Right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the...
And I think my disability has a lot to do with that, to be fair.
I just don't know why, like, empathy is such a rare thing among people.
Well, that's the thing. Being in the wheelchair, it forced me to be empathetic.
But at the same time, like, I mean, maybe it's because I'm a minority or something, but, like, it's not that hard to go, don't do bad things to other people, because bad things are bad, you know? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me.
No, when you put it like that, you're completely correct. And I think, forgive me for saying this if it sounds a bit dodgy.
Right.
With your culture being one of togetherness,
communal,
as
it were, yeah.
Yeah, has a lot to do with it. Whereas the environment in which I was raised was, our business is our business. It's no one else's business. You don't say anything to them, they won't say anything to you, and you just get on with it.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that up to a certain point.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
When that certain point comes to potentially harm other people, then that's where you draw the line. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I don't want to vaccinate because, you know, I don't want to. But the issue with that is there are people that can't vaccinate and you're putting them in danger. You know what I mean? Like, this is different.
Exactly.
This is different from, like, oh, I'm gay, because if you get into a gay relationship, the other party has a tacit agreement, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas with stuff like that, it's like, there's no choice to be made here. This is for the greater good. You know, like...
Because at the end of the day, just because you don't want your child to be vaccinated doesn't mean that they don't want to be.
But at the same time, it's like, it's implying that, you know, whatever side effects that can potentially be received from vaccinating is worse than the disease itself, which it ain't.
I mean, I remember reading a few months ago, maybe a year at most, that polio had made an appearance again, and I was like, what?
It's like, it's suffering from its own success, because people forget how bad those diseases are.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
What also annoys me is the fact that like people are like, oh, the doctors are forcing vaccinations on people even though they might have reactions or allergic, and it's like, no, that's not how it works. If you're allergic to a vaccine, we will find you another one for the same disease that you're not allergic to. Like, we're not going to force you because you're allergic to one of them. We'll find you another one.
Say, for example, that the flu vaccination is incubated in eggs. If you're allergic to eggs, we'll get one that was incubated in something else.
Like, if you're vegan or whatever it is, or you've got, you know, religious qualms about that sort of stuff, I'm sure there's another vaccine out there that will be compliant.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. Like, it really is. Because, like, it's just one Google search away from, you know, looking up those diseases and how horrible they were, that you can go, oh, okay, maybe we don't want that for my child. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, do we go back to the days where surgeons didn't clean their tools between operations?
I mean, it's
and
not
had to pour carbolic acid on wounds and...
I mean, it's not even that, it's just like... medicine... Like, it's weird that people think that all the doctors are in on some big conspiracy and that they are just there to harm you.
Like, the 8 out of 10 dentists agree that this is the best toothbrush and toothpaste.
But it's like...
Well,
I'm never... You know, most doctors got into being doctors because they want to help people, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I started training as a counsellor because the amount of trauma I went through, I wanted to prevent other people from going through the same thing.
And it's like, don't get me wrong, there are people out there that are exactly like what they're feeling, but that's way less of a majority than people are thinking.
Yeah, but then you could say that about any group of people.
Absolutely.
Because in every...
It's also weird that they think that like people can keep such a big conspiracy hidden.
Well, this is where we get back to, and I know we've said it enough, so I'm just going to mention it and not go into it, but the whole Masonic conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been 306 years since the order was founded.
Yeah.
If we were doing anywhere near that kind of stuff, somebody would have shut us down by now.
Yeah. Or like, it's weird that they think you can keep it hidden. Like,
right?
They think that you guys are organizing a new world order. Do you know how much resources would have to go in towards getting that done, sort of thing? And it's like,
I mean, President Trump couldn't even organize a second term. What hope do we?
But like, my thing is that like.
Feel that tomorrow.
Sorry, one second.
I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Kill this guy before he...
Only a little flesh. I'm gonna make you pay for
that. But it's like, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there are cabals of rich people that are doing everything they can to keep their money or to make more money by exploiting loads of people.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how...
But that's because there's a small group of them, and they can keep that secret. You know what I mean? Like...
And the fact of the matter is that as much as we hate it, that is how society works.
But like, that's what society should be doing, is to try and break that up whenever they discover it. Or put laws in place that makes it so that it's harder for that to happen.
I mean, look at the voting records of the UK government and how many abstain from voting for free school meals and stuff like that. But when it's the MP pay rises, suddenly the entire place was packed.
What annoys me though is like people who are offering contracts to people they know. That's the bit that gets me.
I mean, I'm not going to lie, I've been sat at a couple of Masonic dinners where I've overheard people discussing finance contracts.
Yeah.
And between...
Like, personally, like, is that not a conflict of interest? Should that not be a bigger thing?
Yeah, well, I mean, technically it's forbidden under the rules of being a Mason.
But they're like, oh, it's going to stop you, you know, like...
I say technically because realistically there's not a lot anyone can do about it. Because networking is networking. If they don't do it in the lodge, there's nothing to stop them doing it somewhere else.
I feel like there's networking and there's conspiracy, right? Kind of, in a way.
But then again, without outing the people involved other than myself, I'm training to be a lawyer, as you know.
Yeah.
And I quite frequently am sat near a county judge.
Right.
For my meals.
Yeah.
And we've quite often discussed what path I should take on my law career and who I should, you know, rub up for employment and who I should stay away from, and
right.
I could potentially even get a letter of recommendation from him.
Let's try this again.
But he's not doing it because I'm a Mason, he's doing it because I got to know him.
Yeah.
And he knows that I'm passionate about what I'm doing.
Get eyes on him.
Or want to do, rather.
Yeah.
And because I am potentially looking at becoming a judge myself.
Right.
He's just giving a career advice.
Yeah, but it's when you go, can you do me a favour? That's like career advice is fine as long as it's not. Can you do me a favour and let this guy off with a light sentence? You know? That's
hell no.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, I get exactly what you mean, and frankly, that doesn't happen. If you're a Freemason and
in general, like blatant corruption is what I mean.
Oh yeah, no, I get what you mean, but if you just let me finish, because this is something that I feel is important that the public knows.
Yeah.
There was actually quite a few cases where Masons have been caught stealing and even murdering people, which are very, very famous Scotland Yard cases. And one time, one of the murderers was Dr. Aldis.
Right.
Now, he killed his wife and somebody else to basically get them off the scent that he killed his wife.
Yeah.
And the judge, when questioning him in court, was a Grandmaster Mason. And Aldis basically tried to use the "I'm a distressed Mason, let me off" tactic.
Yeah.
And the judge tripled his sentence. Because the judge
was
said
that
that
within
you're...
the sort of scope of like the sentencing, or was he doing
I mean, it was murder, so you can't really put an upper end on it when the upper end is life imprisonment.
Right. Okay.
But it was the fact of the matter that he was like, "You're a Mason, I'm a Mason, you're disgracing our brotherhood and you should know better."
Sure. Okay.
So, yes, there's favoritism to a degree, and I'll tell you offline an interesting story.
Yeah.
It's not that it's not for public knowledge, but it's something that might bore the chat, so I won't, you know.
Yeah.
Where an entire Freemasons lodge actually ended up helping out criminals.
Alright, one sec.
Send me. Let's get you out of here.
I thought that old salt had abandoned me. Guess I owe him a slap on the back. Come on, this way.
Alright. Sorry, yeah, carry on.
And once it was discovered, the entire lodge was shut down.
Woof. Yeah.
Because when you become a Mason, at every level you swear an oath to uphold the law of the land.
Right.
So, of course, the second you become a criminal, you're kicked out.
Right.
But, of course, like you said, that doesn't stop what I would consider moral behaviour around the dinner table.
Well, it also depends on the lodge, the sort of lodge itself, I guess. Like, how corrupt, as it were, that entire lodge is.
Well, that's where it becomes difficult, because what you see as corrupt might not be corrupt to everyone else.
Did you lose the shipment?
No. It's hidden nearby. There's a lot of hungry people in Sunfall that will be happy to see it.
Good. Now, listen. When you head back to Meridian, talk to a noble named Ravon. If you're honest with him, I think he'll help.
Beg a high blood for help? But after everything you've done, I can't refuse. But for now, I'm bound for Sunfall. Be safe.
Alright, yeah, cool. Sorry.
So it all comes down to personal viewpoint in that particular instance. But yes, I mean, I've sat around a dinner table and I've heard outright blatant racism.
Yeah. You don't need to
which
be
is
table to...
Which is pretty much rule number one, that you're not a racist person.
Yeah, I mean, I guess people are, well, racists are very good at finding their ilk and being really well hidden doing that as well.
It actually hurt me when I found out, not because of what he was saying, although it was terrible.
Oh, yeah.
But it was somebody I thought I knew very well and actually quite liked.
Yeah, it's always the ones that you least expect.
And I considered that we'd started to develop quite a close friendship. And then I heard him say all that stuff and I was like,
Ugh.
Yikes!
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I have issues with people. Not gonna lie, I have issues with people.
Yeah.
But I would never condemn an entire group of people just because I have issues with one particular person.
Like, the thing is like, I've met a few racist white people, but I'm not gonna strike off all white people just because one guy was like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, it'd be like me saying that all Asian people are mercenarial because I read a lot of it in comic books and I know you and you are like, well, I'll do it if I'm paid.
Yeah, I mean, to a point, obviously. There's a line to draw, but like, yeah.
But yeah, I was just using it as an example. But that doesn't mean that every Asian person is like that.
Yeah, one second.
A man named Nassan came to see me, and we came to an arrangement. I think many in Sunfall will benefit from it. All this from a stolen sword. As they say, follow the shadow, and you'll find a flame.
Alright, cool, yeah.
Or in other words, there's no smoke without fire.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know, and I would never completely agree with statements like that, but at the same time, certain stereotypes exist for a reason.
I mean, to a point, but like...
Because there are cultural trends out there.
But it's like, if I blamed everyone that was in the UK for something, for, you know,
the decimation of Hong Kong?
Well, for getting China hooked on opium. Like, that's years ago.
And this is where my problem with African American slavery comes in. Yes, it was terrible what happened, and yes, it was disgusting, and I don't think the effects of it should be minimized.
Sure.
But blaming me for something that I had absolutely no control over because I was born over 200 years later.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I mean, a lot, like, I feel like a lot of people mistake that with the current issues that African Americans or black people have with the Western world, in that they're not doing enough to mitigate racism at a systemic level.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you there.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that they're all like, "Oh, your ancestors probably owned slaves. Where's my reparations?"
I don't feel
'Cause
like
someone's actually said that to me.
I mean, sure, I don't feel like that is a reasonable person. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, if you
But the
speak to a
second you point that out, you're racist. In my experience.
I mean,
because that's exactly what they said
supposed
to me.
How are you even supposed to respond to that?
Right?
Like, they're being completely unreasonable.
Because, you
I'm
know,
the man
I
from
grew
the
up
man.
with
Like
Indians,
this.
I grew up
In
with...
brief.
I mean
Involve
Asian
yourselves.
Indians, not American
Like a
Indians.
talisman.
I grew up with African Americans. You were the first ever Chinese person I ever met. I'm going to be honest.
No.
I
know.
And I have no ill will towards any of them.
Sure.
In fact, some of my favourite people that I knew growing up were Sikhs who used to drive me to and from school in the taxi.
Yeah.
And we'd discuss the religion and the weaponry, and
Yeah.
it was a great time, and he was such a friendly person. And I wished he'd been my family instead of my own.
Yeah. Sorry, 1 second.
What kind of obstacles?
The first pilgrim is an Oseram who seeks to visit the Shrine of Kings on the road to the city. He waits there now, forbidden to enter by an old sun priest who suffer no heathen. This Utaru lost her companion on the edge of the Jewel, at a pool where snap moths gather. The shrine was built there to ward off the machines, and its effectiveness leaves much to be desired. And the Manuk would paint a mark on the sun's climb, a call to the machine spirits, I understand. They need no beckoning. Flint hawks perch there, drawn to the spire's shining.
So, clear the machines out of 2 shrines and move a priest out of the other.
All I can ask for is your charity and that their stories are heard.
Naman, rituals and prayers can't bring back those who are lost.
No, but it can help those who grieve to find themselves.
It's true.
It can lend them strength and hope, like a new sunrise.
I didn't think your priesthood would ask outsiders for help.
If only the sun would set on our pride. Until this is done, I am no sun priest. To wear a red robe was an aspiration. I aspired. Now our hoods make us blind. We whisper reconciliation, but forget how the old king's priests sang the words and blessed the killing.
The killing? You mean the Red Raids?
Yes. And the sacrifices that came after.
Why did the priests go along with all that bloodshed?
Sometimes we Karja are more concerned with what is tradition than what is right.
Huh.
Amen.
Maybe the Karja and Nora aren't so different.
I think it's just a people thing.
You're disappointed with the Sun Priests, but you still wanted to be one?
I spent my whole life looking up to the temple. My brother's voice echoing in its arches. Even he couldn't turn me away, and how he tried. In the end. He said, when we were loved, our robes were dyed in cinnabar. Now they are stained in blood.
How so?
Our robes are handed down to us. Most of the old priests fled rather than be seen in the glare of a new sun. And so we are left to wear their sins. For me, at least, they hang heavy.
Where is your brother now?
He waits for me on the trail of the sun, I hope. He spoke out against the sacrifices. For a priest to question the Sun King's will, his punishment was worst of all.
You lost someone you loved too. I'm sorry.
No, not lost. When I took on these robes, I found his memory.
I'll do what I can to
he's a
help
nice
those
guy.
in mourning.
To honor their memories is to honor us all.
See, why can't everybody be reasonable, eh?
Funnily enough, it was also oddly in tune with what we were discussing.
Yeah, absolutely. About traditions and how people are like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you know, despite what my personal feelings towards people are, there have been times when I have, through my disability, had met several African American, and I mean African, not American.
So you just African,
people from Africa.
Yeah.
Who were carers.
Right.
Who were rude.
Yeah.
Didn't want to do their job, spent all their time on their phones in their native language in their room rather than actually doing their job. Who were incredibly lazy.
Right.
Did everything that when they did do it with such bad manners.
Yeah.
Because they were only there to pick up the paycheck.
Yeah.
Oh no, this was about 5 or 6 different people.
Right.
In a row. So it got to the point where I said, please don't send any more African carers.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I get how that would sound racist.
But it wasn't intended to be, it was just simply that my experience of 6 people in a row meant that I'd rather have somebody else.
Sure. But I feel like there's a difference between can you send someone else compared to can you not send African people, please?
I mean, I was going by the fact that it's only been that particular group of carers that have done it.
Right.
Hence why I was like, okay, we'll just leave that particular group out and accept everyone else. Rather than it being because they're African.
Dried up old prune in a robe sees to that.
I can be persuasive. But what does an Osram want with a Karja shrine anyway?
It reminds me of someone. Gone 2 years now. But what does a girl like you know of loss?
Rude.
Try me.
I had a lover.
Big
worked on monuments to their bastard king. Then he gave them a show in their sun ring for good measure. The Karja gave me back his broken bones, but what use are they? They won't build again. They won't make me smile.
And seeing a statue of the Mad Sun King will?
I need to see his work again. The marks his hands carved. The set of the metals they hammered. That's the soul of him. But that shriveled up old priest won't let me near it.
I'll see what I can do.
Bit of a fanatic, then.
Yeah, let's talk to this shriveled up old priest.
Turn away, child.
I have to say,
The
my...
abiding Jahaman wishes to be alone in his retreat.
Sorry, yeah?
If you want to be alone, go someplace else. Others want to pray here.
Defile it, you mean? Yet another debasement of what was once pure. Truly, our tribe has lost the light. Our king is false, our temple is corrupt, and our soldiers weak. The sun hastens across the sky for shame.
Motherfucker.
In other words,
So
it's
the Karja have
reality.
become impure? What does that even mean?
Is Meridian not meant for those who built it, who made it great?
This sounds familiar.
It was pure before Outlander squatters took it over.
You mean Meridian was pure when the outsiders were in cages or dying in your arena?
The sun is
Why
pure,
does this sound like America?
Right.
It is not our place to
Britain?
question its divine will, only to act upon it.
I thought Avad taking the throne was the sun's will.
The boy dishonored his father. dishonored us all. To kill the
I
Sun
have to say, this game seems to be agreeing with our discussion.
he brought upon us.
And how many more would the Mad Sun King have killed if Avad hadn't stopped him?
The sun called for blood. There was no choice
And
but
now
to
the
obey.
sun doesn't. It's still your
I mean,
choice to obey.
Look at the Capitol riot,
You
for
called
example.
the temple corrupt, but aren't you one of its priests?
They call themselves sun priests, but they have no authority. Youths and sycophants all. Yet those who gave their whole lives to the sun's service are shamed and ignored.
So that's what this is. A tantrum? A cry for
He
attention?
wants his own safe space.
You know nothing of our rights, and yet you dare to insult me.
Why do you think your army
yeah.
is weak? Because you're not at war with everyone?
A Karja throne relying on forged dirt mercenaries? Preposterous. The so-called liberation was nothing but a purge.
Is he a
Our most blessed
QAnon
warriors
follower?
chased out of the city, exiled to Sunfall
Does sound
in the
like it,
Forbidden
doesn't it?
West. Our tribe is torn. The ones who walked in light now go by shadow.
And yet everyone but you seems happy they're gone.
Why didn't you follow them?
I'm done arguing with you. Stay or go, but I won't allow you to keep others away.
I am here by the will of the sun.
So am I now.
If you won't accept change, you should try to make peace with it. Your bitterness has poisoned you.
I have no need of your pity.
I wasn't offering it. But if you step aside, you can keep your pride, since it's so important to you.
There'll be a reckoning.
You'll back away from it.
You're right. One a-hole.
Sounds oddly familiar.
Right? Back here now. Yeah, it's because, like, you know, we're reasonable.
Hope everything's in order for you.
Right.
But
see what he says.
all I meant by my particular comment of my experience is I can see how stereotyping
They defaced it because
started.
they hated what it stood for.
They defaced a thing slaves
Um,
like him lived and died for.
and how it's
Slaves
continued.
they've already forgotten. Short-sighted bastards, the lot. If they thought their son set off this bridge, they'd jump after it. I thank you for honoring my wish.
I hope you can find peace.
I wouldn't know what to do with it, any more than the Karja do.
Sorry, yeah.
But I can understand why it's bad as well.
Yeah.
But for me, I don't see what I said and did as particularly being racist because I gave them a chance.
I mean, I'm not saying it is racist. I can see how it comes across as.
Yeah, me too, but at the same time, it's not like I said, I won't hire you strictly because of that. I went, okay, I've had 7 people in a row like this. I'm not prepared to put up with it and send other people.
Yeah. I
Um,
think it's just where if you highlight the race, that's what they think is the main issue.
yeah, but at the same time, when you're dealing with a care agency, how else can you describe it?
I would just tell them that the ones that they have sent were poor and for them to send better ones. Like, I mean, that's about the only way you can say it, right? Like, they've all been awful because they haven't been doing their jobs. And maybe send someone that actually cares.
But I didn't want them sending the same people, so I had to tar them as a group.
I would just go, can you not send the same people? Like, I know, it's... I get where you're coming from, but I also get why it seems racist. Is the bottom line.
Yeah, but I'm hoping that the intention is obvious enough that it doesn't excuse it, but at the same time,
it's
people
clear.
know that it wasn't because of that as to why I did it. Because the thing is, like you said earlier, it's cultural. There are some cultures where you're very hardworking and because you're brought up to be a certain way, you know, and others it's different.
Yeah.
This is why I particularly am fond of stories I hear from Chinese and Japanese schools, where they teach children to clean the classrooms.
Yeah.
And things like that, because it's a skill that you need as an adult.
Yeah.
And that as somebody in a weird...
I definitely think that, you know, the culture did sort of help shape who I am as a person. Like,
yeah.
Like, I believe there is a social contract when it comes to you and your government, where
yes.
in exchange for, you know, you paying taxes and, you know, obeying laws, that, you know, they have to provide, you know, safety.
Yeah.
Some social safety nets, among other stuff, you know, which is why, like, when I hear stories about the US, about how, like, they don't want to socialize medicine, or, like, how they're doing nothing in regards to, like, the police brutality, that it just, like, flabbergasts me.
Yes, exactly. And it's the same for me, because, you know, I grew up in England where it is, you know, you can respect a police officer. Yes, okay, they might be dishonest to you, because, you know, I've been interrogated a few times as part of my work and social life, and they've lied to my face. They know they lied, I know they lied, but it's a tactic to try and get you to talk.
But I feel like that's different than, like, you know, pulling you over strictly to intimidate you.
That's exactly what I mean. There are lines, and the British government, for all their faults, know where those lines are.
Not to say there aren't problems.
Save these for the trail.
They're not as
but it's
bad
less
as the
frequent.
US.
I mean, take Amsterdam, for example, and countries like that. They've got some of the lowest crime rates in the world.
Because they decriminalise.
Yeah, they treat people like people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good for an old
They're like, well, we know you're going to do it, so you might as well do it legally.
For me, like there was a Reddit post where it's like, oh, imagine going to a country of your preferred, like, political sort of, alignment sort of thing, you know, socialist or capitalist or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I could use a holiday in Sweden. And, like, there were people pointing out that, you know, it's a capitalist country. I'm like, yes, but with a heavy social net.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the point. Like, I don't have an issue with people earning money. I have an issue with people who are aiming to earn money to the detriment of literally everything else.
Like the Conservatives.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of the US, like, people who get revered in the US is people who got so big because they take advantage of the working classes and aren't providing the safety nets, or aren't providing, you know, the proper revenues to the government via tax, or things like that, you know, who abuse the system.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I'm still reeling in horror from something I found out about the British government recently, that they've started putting benches that are designed to prevent homeless people from sleeping on them.
Yeah. And there are ones that, like, I think it's in the US where, like, they removed benches because of the exact same reason.
And all I could think, from someone who was once homeless myself, I didn't choose to be in that situation.
Yeah. Very few people chooses to be homeless, you know, if they've got the choice.
Why penalise me when instead you could help me find a job, help me find somewhere to live?
It's because as far as they're concerned, it's not their job. That's the thing. And they don't want to provide the funding, or, you know, to set up a scheme or whatever, where it is someone's job to deal with that. Like, it's out
And
of
yet
sight,
you'll-
out of mind, you know.
And yet you'll waste thousands of pounds a year to deter us from doing it.
Absolutely.
When that money could be spent on helping us so we wouldn't need to do it.
Absolutely. Like, and it would cost less as well, preventing homelessness in the first place.
Yeah.
But they don't see that as their problem. That's the thing.
I mean,
It's the
it was
mindset.
the same with when I went to my doctor about a couple of the issues I've had on you, mostly because you nagged at me about it.
Yeah.
And they turned around and said, "Oh yeah, we can see you've got a problem, but it's not severe enough for us to treat it yet. Go home." And I'm like, but the whole point of this is from preventing it becoming severe.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, if it's not important enough for us to for you to currently treat, let me know why, so that, you know, I can stop bugging you about it, or give me preventative measures so that it doesn't get bad enough that you have to treat it. Like, give me
That's
options.
exactly the point. Yeah.
Give me options here, and I will stop bugging you. Like,
when I got diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder a couple of years ago, because it was only a recent diagnosis, the mental health clinician that assessed my illness and then eventually said, "Oh my God, this is what you've got. Medication won't do anything. Stop taking it immediately because it is actually killing you."
Right.
Turned around and said, "You need help. We can't help you because we're too underfunded.
Yeah.
And you aren't severe enough to qualify for the help that is out there."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, but the only reason I'm not severe enough is because I'm coming to you to try and prevent it from getting any worse. I used to self-harm, I used to drink, I used to do all sorts of stuff. I don't want to go back to that. So I'm here with my hand out going, help me God. Don't let me be that again. And you're turning me away when your whole job is to prevent people from being that."
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. To me, anyway. I mean, they provide a great service out there for those that truly are, you know, gone.
That hurt.
But I thought the whole purpose of medicine was to stop illness, not treat it.
Well, it's cheaper to prevent, right, rather than
exactly
cure. Like, that's the entire thing. Is that
I mean, that was the whole point, to the point where an apple a day keeps the doctor away became a common saying. Because it was talking about getting the right vitamins and, you know, staying healthy.
Yeah.
But it was the fact that they judge you arbitrarily based on a point system and not what's actually the situation.
Yeah, that's weird as well.
Because he was like, "Oh, you're dishevelled and unkempt." Well, I'm in a wheelchair. Do you have any idea how difficult it is for me to
There's only so
shave
much I
and
can do.
cut? Yeah, there's only so much I can physically do to assist my appearance without help from outside forces, which I can't get because you're turning me away.
Yeah. Then it's like, well, you know, if you want to hire a carer,
Because the only way I qualify for care that I can afford is to receive a referral from a hospital. But you're saying that I'm not bad enough to need a referral.
Yeah.
You can't have it both ways. Either I'm bad enough that I need treatment and have a problem, because you've diagnosed me with it, or I'm not.
Yeah.
Because if a diagnosis exists, then there's a problem. And you treat that problem, surely.
You hope so.
I don't know, the Hippocratic Oath seems to have fallen quite far these days.
Well, that's a hypocritical oath.
Here we are again.
Which ironically comes from the same etymology.
Yeah.
Because it is, both of them literally refer to the same person.
Yeah. But like you're not the only person that has issues with the NHS, and I don't know if it's. I'm pretty sure it is rather. It's because the Tories have essentially just been defunding them over the years.
Yeah, no, I completely agree because in the 90s and early 2000s, I was receiving regular medical care for these particular issues.
And I don't even know if with the recent issues with COVID, if they're getting the funding they're supposed to be either.
No, well, why do you think Captain Tom had to do that fundraising?
That's true. But it's you think that with the recent COVID issues, that if ever there was a time
to fund the NHS,
and excessively so, it would be now.
But then again, my point of view is if they hadn't stripped it down in the first place, would we even have COVID?
We absolutely
over
would.
Here.
We absolutely would, because the quarantine issue is political, which it shouldn't be. It should be scientific.
Right.
If they hadn't dismantled the NHS, it would have coped better. We wouldn't have as many people die.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we would probably still have the same tossers in charge. Sorry, one sec.
When we fled from our cages during the liberation, I tore through this clearing, thinking my friend was behind me. I kept running, but here she remains. Thank you for making it safe for me to return.
I don't want to rush you, but it won't stay safe for long.
I understand. I've done this before in waking dreams. In the pool, I'll find the bracelet of seeds she dropped when she fell. The seeds will be split, escaped, grown wild. She's passing from my memory into the jungles. I'll tell her it was I who died here and became a stranger in our own land, and she who still lives in every time of planting, of rains, harvests, and... Oh.
What is it?
There. Her bracelet. And I thought she was behind me. But there's only my reflection.
Do you need to be alone?
For the first time, I am.
Yeah, they need more counselors in fictional worlds as well.
Right? I was like, dude!
Yeah, that sucks. Big time.
That was a bit of a downer.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, right?
I mean, she's not wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Saving these for the trail?
Yeah, so, we would still have, my issue with Boris Johnson, and this is among many, so I'm not going to go on a run, is that, him as a person only went for prime ministership because he wants power. He doesn't know what to do once he gets it.
This must be the
You know what I mean?
And that's how it felt with Theresa May as well.
But at least she was trying to get a deal sorted to the best of her minimal ability.
Yeah.
You know? Not like Boris Johnson or Nigel Farage, where they're like, all right, we're out. You've got to deal with Brexit now. You know what I mean? That alone should have prevented them from having any say in Brexit, full stop.
I mean, to be honest, he's upset me because, and I got this from someone who works in the medical profession.
Sure.
You probably know who I'm talking about.
Carry on.
Because I've told you about them.
Yeah.
When vaccines were discussed, it was recommended that you have, I think it was 14 days between the two vaccinations.
Right.
And the government was like, no, that's not good enough, do it sooner than that.
Right.
And the scientists were literally saying, if it isn't that far apart, it won't work because the previous one will still be in the person's system.
Yeah.
And the government was adamant that, you know, that spacing was incorrect and it won't be done that way, despite the fact that World Health Organization experts were telling them this is the minimum it needs to be. You cannot do it before that period.
Yeah, that's my issue as well, is that, you know, around Christmas, it's like, oh, you can travel, but Boxing Day, you've got it's quarantine. Like, dude, if you've got to cancel Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, just fucking do it. And get us out of this mess ASAP. Not, like, drag it on like a wounded fucking deer and have to put us down later. Like, just get the fuck on with it.
Because the fact of the matter is, my personal opinion, and I'm guilty because I'm one of the people that did it because that's what we were told to do, was that we should never have come out of the first quarantine when we did.
I completely.
I did it, ate out to help out and all that lot because it was cheaper meals and I wanted to go out, frankly. But it should never have happened. Because the only reason...
If you need to lock down longer, just let us know. The government, ideally, should know what the fuck it's doing.
Because the fact of the matter is, the only reason these genetic variants of COVID exist now...
It's because of the patchy lockdown. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Because that's how genes mutate, because they have to be within a certain new environment to gain a mutation.
Yes, they've become resistant.
Yeah. And it's just insane that all of these world experts said this about Brexit, about COVID, and at every stage our government said they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah. It's also dumb if you think about it. Like, you see how well... you see how well, like, New Zealand with regards to COVID, and it's like, why can't we do that?
Right?
And literally the only reason we didn't do that is because Tory's gonna be Tory and they've got to make their money.
Yep.
And that's literally it.
I mean, I remember when January the 1st came round and people were like, Happy New Year!
Yeah.
But yeah. But it just bugs me that it's not them that's going to pay for it because they're in their mansion.
Yeah, absolutely.
With their giant 60-inch TVs and...
What super annoys me is, like, the Minister of Education being, yeah, people have got to go back to... people have got to go back to school. And then it's like, are you going to send your kids back to school? It's like, oh, no. No, of course not. You know what I mean? Like...
This disease can kill adults. What's it going to do to children?
No, my issue is he's not even willing to put his wallet where his mouth is with his own children.
Yeah, no.
Hello.
Yeah.
When he's telling other people to take him on faith. It's like, of course I'm not going to fucking listen to you.
And that's the thing. I've got a friend of mine who you've met who's a teacher. And his wife is a teacher.
Yeah.
and they've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
Who are at that age where they're in like junior and primary school, and they've refused to send their kids back to school.
What also gets me is like, my personal life and political life is not the same thing. It's the same where I think it was Tony Blair with the MMR vaccine or something.
Yeah.
Where he was like, "Oh no, MMR vaccine's perfectly safe," and then a reporter goes, "Has your son taken it?" It's like, that's none of your business, blah blah blah. And I was like, if you're not willing to put your money where your mouth is, of course they're not gonna fucking listen to you. You know what I mean?
I mean, I don't think I ever had the MMR vaccine, but then that was more because of my age at the time.
Yes, there will always.
But I remember being told at 16 that we were having a mandatory tuberculosis vaccine.
Yeah. But like that's more like due to the fact that the MMR vaccine was created later than.
Yeah.
When it was
no, I get it, and I was there like the tuberculosis, as far as I knew, had died out, and then I got. And then I got to thinking, well, that's probably why it's all but died out. Because we're getting immunized.
Yeah. Or like because of anti-vaxxers and whatnot. It's like there's a re-bigging of fucking people who are getting it because people aren't getting vaccinated. And it's like,
I mean, I never had a measles vaccine, but that was simply because I'd already had measles by the time I was the age to get the vaccine.
Yeah, it's
so there was no point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no one's gonna go, oh, you better take it just in case. Like, what's the fucking point?
Right? Dude, I already had it and I survived. I'm not gonna...
I mean, it is better to take the vaccine because things like measles and rubella, like, can have side effects. Like, I think, like, partial deafness and, like, things that will affect you in the future.
Yeah.
So if you can get the immunization without actually suffering from it, then obviously that's better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's partly why I'm going to have the COVID vaccination when I'm called up for it, which won't be long because they're now moving on to people between 40 and 50.
But, like, aren't you high risk?
Yes, so I should have already had it.
That's what I mean, like, you should... Sorry, 1 second.
So you've come back to the temple.
I was invited back. The priests wanted to hear what I had to say about reconciliation with the other tribes. They're listening. At least they've begun to listen. There's a distance between ears and deeds.
Because of what we did?
What you did.
It was for the mourners. I think it helped them.
You set them on the path. You can't know what their journeys hold. Such is the priest's lot. Perhaps a red robe would suit you.
Oh, God, no.
Not me.
Red is so not my colour.
Doesn't even take women.
Yeah. We would be richer if we did.
That sounds familiar.
Let the sun cast your way.
So, are you a secret society?
Where I'm going.
If not, I know one that I can put you into.
Yeah. That's cool singing, man. Right, yeah. So it's just like.
Yeah, I'm in the high risk category, but I haven't received a summons yet.
I am pretty surprised that you haven't got one yet, though.
Well, no, but the thing is, even if I wasn't, I would still have the vaccine simply because.
Oh yeah.
If the conspiracy theorist people are correct and it's a government ploy, fine, whatever. But if they're wrong,
government ploy
would you really want to risk?
This is the Hunter's Lodge.
The government ploy for what, though?
Well,
I've heard people go, "Oh, Bill
it's
Gates,
mind control. It's
Bill Gates wants to microchip you via a vaccine," and I'm like, "You've got a phone. That's got a GPS. That tracks you way better than a microchip in your blood system would."
And not only that, Bill Gates doesn't even work for Microsoft anymore.
No, but like, it's so weird because like a phone would track you way better, and it'll track your habits as well. Like that's a way better targeting mechanism than like a chip in your bloodstream.
Christ, I've been chatting with you about me wanting to buy certain things, and I've then had adverts on Facebook in my next click advertising it.
And it's like, why would they want to track a fucking hillbilly in Arkansas who does nothing but stay in their fucking van anyway?
Because they know the truth, man. They know the
Only
truth.
members and invited guests are allowed in.
How do I get invited?
You've come all the way from the Savage East, right?
Oh, there's the Savage
You must
East
have come
again.
across some of our hunting grounds. Each one has a set of hunting trials. Now off you go.
Alright, sorry.
It's also like when the anti-Masonic conspiracy theorists turn around and say that I'm not at a high enough level to know all the secrets, when I'm like, dude, you are aware that in 5 years' time I will be in charge of the lodge.
But at the same time, it's like, how would you know? Like,
right?
Are you a
It's
member? Do you know members who are leaking secrets? Like, is there someone providing you with like profiles as to who's what rank?
Right? It goes back to that Daily Mail article that was released the year before I joined the lodge. Or sorry, it wasn't a year before, it was a few months, because it was in like December and I joined in April.
Everyone needs a splash of color in their lives. Come, let's
And it was saying that there was this big conspiracy within the British government because there was supposed to be this lodge that operates in Westminster,
right,
where there were many members who were members of Parliament.
Yep. I mean, it's Westminster. That would make sense.
And we were all covering it up, you know. And our chief executive officer turned around and said, no, we don't have a single politician that belongs to those particular lodges that you've earmarked.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't meet in Westminster, they meet elsewhere.
Yeah.
Come to our Grand Lodge and we will show you the written records.
Yeah.
But we're not going to out them over national television.
Oh yeah. It's like, oh, you want us to dox our members?
Right?
Sorry.
And she was like...
I
Sorry,
am known as
I don't mean
Blameless Marad. Please come with me. You're needed for an important consultation.
What do you mean? Where's Erend?
He's inside, attending the Sun King, where we should be without further delay. Follow me, please.
All of these people are here to see the Sun King.
Yes, and each has come to ask a favor of him. Unpleasant, but that's politics. The Sun King is eager to meet you, the machine tamer with a curious eye for detail. It's all very intriguing.
I'm not here to intrigue you.
Too late.
Sorry.
And he was like, why is it you people, whenever you want to know about Freemasonry, you ask everybody else except the Freemasons?
I guess it's probably because they're like, oh, there's no way they'd tell the truth.
But why would we lie? This is what we don't understand.
Well, you fear what you don't know, right? And they don't know.
What's the Sun King like?
The most important thing is what he isn't
Freemason.
like. His father. I think you'll find him to be a reasonable man.
I guess I'll.
Because
Yeah.
she basically said, you know, the
Aloy
same
of the
things
North.
you've said, where it's like,
She
oh,
who sees
but you
the
don't let
unseen.
women in, and he's like, no, there are women orders
It would
out
seem
there,
you
I
have done
can
me a
give
great
you their
service.
information.
Yeah.
Erend, tell her what you found.
I checked Ursa's tomb. You were right, Aloy. The body is missing a scar below her right knee. I gave it to Ursa when we were kids, fighting over a toy sword.
If the body is not Ursa's, then we must assume she is still alive. And I will not abandon her.
We only know she was taken, not who took her.
I can help with that. Ursa has an enemy among the Oseram. A warlord named Dervahl.
Impossible. Every clan in the claim has been hunting for him since the liberation. He has to be dead by now.
No other Oseram had the motive and ingenuity to lure Ursa into this trap. I expect to find him lurking somewhere near the border. I've already sent an agent to investigate. He'll be waiting for word from us at the marketplace in Pitchcliff.
I can't move troops to the border without provoking the Oseram. But I could send a few vanguardsmen. And perhaps an exceptionally gifted Nora as well.
Yeah, why not?
Erend, Murad.
In other words, do all our work for us.
Yeah, always the way.
I hate to impose further after all you've done, but this is a matter of great importance to me.
It sounds like
I
Ursa
love
has
it when
a lot
people
to-
are like that.
Without her Oseram vanguard, I would not have been able to liberate Meridian and end my father's brutal reign. Since then, it has been difficult to maintain peace between our tribes. But Ursa has a way of making her people see reason. So you see, I need her back at my side. And quickly.
Who is Dervahl exactly?
To understand Dervahl, you must first understand my father. He truly thought of himself as a sun god. His mind was broken. He believed that blood sacrifice would solve, well, everything. So he raided the other tribes for victims, especially the Oseram. Dervahl fought back. He crafted powerful weapons and rallied his people. My father responded with the ultimate cruelty. He captured Dervahl's wife and daughter and sacrificed them in the Sun Ring.
So, why would Dervahl go to so much trouble to kidnap Ursa?
He felt she betrayed him. She fought by his side until she realized he planned to raise Meridian and butcher its people. And she came to me. Together, we stopped him and liberated the city from my father. Dervahl has spent every moment since trying to get revenge. Mostly on the other Oseram who fought with us. He made so many powerful enemies, I thought we'd seen the last of him. I was wrong.
Well, you know what they say, if you want something
I'd like to ask you something
done
about the
right.
Sundom and its politics.
By all means.
Hire someone else to do it.
Yeah.
Clearly.
Well, that's why he's still
They
alive.
call you a sun god who killed his own father in order to unite the tribes in harmony. Is any of it true?
They say you can see the invisible, split an arrow at 50 paces, and tame machines at a glance. How much of that
All
is
of
true?
it and more.
It's not too far off.
Well, I would like to unite the tribes in harmony, but you saw how many courtiers I have to deal with first. Maybe next week.
Quite a place you've got here. You can almost see the little people below the mesa.
You don't approve? Well, I have a secret for you. Neither do I. But we must be patient. Change won't come in a single sunrise.
Is a bit
But
ostentatious.
will it happen at all, while men live in palaces?
It might. Eventually. If people like you help me bring it about.
Your politics seem very complicated. The Oseram are friends, but enemies too?
Bit of an
I
understatement.
couldn't have liberated Meridian without the help of Ursa and her Oseram freebooters. Many of them have settled here. But the Ealdormen of the Oseram clans in the claim have become jealous of their success. So have many Carja nobles. It's a volatile situation, especially given the fact that my father raided the Oseram for years. Ursa helps keep the peace, promising a future based on mutual gain. But some, like Dervahl, will never let go of their venom.
What can you tell me about the Shadow Carja? What do they have to do with Ursa?
They are remnants of my father's regime, holding out at the fortress of Sunfall to the west. Like him, they care only for domination, and seek to draw upon the power of the sun by spilling blood in its name. Since Ursa helped me take this city from them, they were perfect scapegoats. Dervahl knew this, of course, and planned it well.
I need to get going.
I know. Well, they say kings should never beg. But please, help me find
I like
Ursa.
it though. A humble
Who
king.
says that?
Well, Murad, for one. Don't hesitate to ask him or Erend if you have further questions.
Like, you know, a reasonable king. I like that.
Who hates to impose on you, but I'm gonna do exactly that.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's asking nicely, right? I mean, there are worse ways of asking.
True, true.
And like, you know how like, there's no such thing as an eternal enemy.
So, I thought Ursa was dead, and I thought Dervahl was dead. Dead doesn't seem to mean what it used to. Or maybe I'm just an ass.
Kind of reminds me of the
Whatever.
Chinese emperor
All I
who
know is that it's
tried
time to find my
to
sister.
get immortality by drinking mercury.
I hope Murad's guy grabs us the lead.
Did Ursa ever tell you anything
I
about
am
Dervahl?
the Eternal
We were
Emperor.
both under
Dies
his command
about a
for
week
while.
later.
Sort of. Helped him recruit an army to take out the Mad Sun King. But then he got real creepy with Ursa. Needless to say, she wasn't interested. He wouldn't let it go. Not to mention the fact that we realized he wanted to murder every Karja, not just the bad ones. Long story short, he's a grazer-licking dungbag.
Avad seems committed to finding your sister.
Yeah, those two got along. And some people say they shacked up, but I don't buy it. Seems a little skinny for me. Oh, okay, some bad images are flying in my head. Let's just focus on finding her. And kicking Dervahl's ass.
I'd better go.
Don't stand me up in Pitchcliff, okay? Ursa needs us.
Right, other guy.
Aloy, how can I be of service?
It's obvious that you're an advisor to the Sun King, but what is it you do exactly?
Whatever.
Advise the Sun King?
Are you always so evasive?
It depends.
That's a yes.
You were right about Avad. He seems genuine.
He is the Sun King. I serve him the best I can. What else would you have me say?
Huh. Did you serve the last one as best you could, too?
Well, I served him to his enemies. It was the best I could do for the Sundom.
What did you do?
Nothing I could be blamed for.
Sounds to me like you're a spy.
There are many helpful voices in the Sundom and beyond. I like to think of myself
So
as
yes.
a good listener.
So
Do you
why
know,
do they
this
call
guy
you
sounds like an
Blameless
awfully
Murad?
good politician.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on who you mean by they, and what they might wish to blame me for.
Talking to you is tiring.
So they say.
He sounds like what's his face from Game of Thrones.
Tyrion?
No, the bald guy, the eunuch.
Oh, the eunuch, yes.
What will I find?
He
at the
was my
border?
second choice.
An outpost full of Oseram, most of whom want nothing to do with Dervahl. Still, he inspires
Excuse
great
me, sir,
loyalty
have
in
you
those
still
who
got
fought
your
with him
balls?
against the last
Yeah.
Sun King. He will not be caught alone. And don't forget, he is a master craftsman. Nothing delights him more than his dangerous toys.
What makes you so sure Dervahl did this to Ursa?
I don't care for sure or certain. I prefer likely or probably. How many Oseram are clever enough for this ruse? Capable of building the weapon you described? Who hate Ursa so? More than one? Not likely. Dervahl? Quite probably.
He has a point.
Even if people think he's dead.
That is surely another reason to be suspicious of certain words.
I have to go.
Then you must.
He has a point.
Yeah. Even his, I have to go, then you must. Yes, that's why I'm leaving.
That's why I said I should go. Yeah. Right, where am I headed?
It always makes me laugh that the term common sense came about because the monarchy was so far removed from the plebeian society that they were like, this is sense that only commoners have. which is where we get the term common sense.
That's weird to me. Because, like...
But that is actually how it started. That's
so weird, because you'd think it's like sense that is common, that everybody knows.
Yeah.
Rather than...
That dust storm looks like it could
Just.
strip a machine.
commoners.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I actually did research onto where it came from because I was just curious.
Yeah.
Because there's been quite a few historical references where people have said...
If anything, it has proven that common sense isn't so fucking common.
That's exactly why I looked it up, because there's been so many historical quotes where it says common sense doesn't exist.
Yeah.
But I was like, where did it actually come from?
Where's that campfire? There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a nerd, I guess.
Like, it's so weird that it's like, oh, you should do this and it's not common.
I mean, I never thought as an adult I would read a newspaper story that I read a while ago.
Yeah.
That a man had been arrested for going into a supermarket, buying food, and giving it to a homeless person.
Really?
Because the store policy is that you can't provide food for the homeless. So therefore he was charged with stealing.
What the hell? Oh, what, the homeless person?
No, the guy that gave the food was charged with stealing the food.
But he's paid for it. Surely he has a receipt.
Because the store were like, we don't agree with you giving food to homeless people, so
but I'd be
you've
like,
stole.
But he paid for it. That's the point. Like, what?
There are actually food restaurants in America that will refuse to serve you if you go into it with a homeless person and walk up to the counter to buy the homeless person a meal.
I mean, that I kind of see happening. I can see that happening.
But it's insane.
Absolutely. I agree.
What I want to do with my money is my business.
You think a place like America would get that?
Because the thing is, I don't give homeless people money.
Right.
If I want to help a homeless person, I will go into Sainsbury's or Tesco's, and I will buy them sandwiches.
And that is your prerogative to do so as your money. Yeah.
It's not that I don't trust them with the money.
Yeah.
I, as a previous homeless person myself, am more concerned that they get a meal than them having money. If that is wrong of me, then so be it. But the fact of the matter is that I hate to say it because I was homeless, but I have seen too many homeless people, because I was homeless, spending money on alcohol and other things like that. Now I know why they do it, because alcohol tricks the brain into thinking it's warmer than it actually is. But that's dangerous because what it's actually doing is lowering your body temperature, not raising it.
By dilating your blood vessels, means you lose weight quicker.
Yeah, which is why I'd rather give them a solid meal and a drink and let them buy alcohol.
I mean, ultimately, it's your money. Like, how you want to help them is.
I mean, I don't do it as often as I used to.
I don't give people to. I don't give money to people who are like by the train stations going, "Do you have a quid, mate? I want to take a bus home."
No, well, no, I never do. I don't do stuff like that, but I will do it for somebody who's obviously homeless because he's on a sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Particularly if he has a pet dog.
Yeah.
Because he can share the food with the dog.
The dog kind of seals the deal.
Right? It's like, I'm not helping you, you homeless person. I'm helping your dog.
I wouldn't want the dog to starve.
Right? But no, it's just that I also am very well aware of the scam that's out there where people who aren't homeless will go begging.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Yeah.
Although,
I mean,
for me, it's more of a pride thing, which it shouldn't be, but...
When I was growing up, I actually knew somebody who used to do that. And this was around the time I became homeless. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? I'm paying for how much of your food to drink when you've got all this money? But yeah, it just... So I know it's awful to potentially tar them all with the same brush, but I do it that way so that it cuts out on people that don't need it.
I mean, ultimately, you're still helping people.
Yeah, and frankly, the ones that only want the money that don't need anything will turn down the food.
And hey, that just saves you a bit more money. You know, like...
Yeah. Because if I've already bought the food, then I'll just have it for my own dinner, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the way I see it is like... my sister previously was like... do you think there's ever something that... like an action that is like... purely altruistic?
No.
I'm like, no, because you get something from it, ultimately.
Yeah.
Because you want to help people, because you want to help people. Like, that...
You're
still getting something out of it, but ultimately...
doing it for satisfaction.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, whether you do it purely for an altruistic reason or not, it doesn't matter, because you're still helping people.
Yeah.
Like, nothing needs to be purely altruistic. Like, you wouldn't do it if you don't want to do it.
I mean, I do it because I feel guilty, not because I want to do it.
Well, yeah, different people have different motivations, but ultimately, if you're doing a good thing, then you're still doing a good thing, you know?
But I'm not... I don't feel guilty to the point where I feel I have to do it. I'm guilty because I know what it feels like.
Yeah.
I feel guilty because I made it out of it and they didn't.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I now have a home, I now have a fixed income. I will never starve again.
Yeah.
In theory.
In theory.
I always have to say in theory, simply because you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah. Unless you've got the gift of foresight somehow.
And like they say, whatever the hell you do, don't tempt fate.
Yeah. Right, what's he gonna do? Make me homeless?
2 seconds later, a knock on the door.
Okay, we're heading back.
But at the same time, I know I was doing it because I was being selfish.
Yeah.
Because I wanted that recognition of I'm a wonderful person.
Yeah. Like
that isn't the main reason
It's
I
weird.
did it.
There was, I think it was in the Middle Ages where, no, it might be later. I think it might be 16, 17, like the Victorian times.
Yeah, yeah.
Where, like, these ladies would, like, one-up each other in doing altruistic things that they don't want to do.
Yeah, and they'd even form clubs around it.
Yeah. And it's like, what? Just, if you don't want to do it, then don't do it. But, like, if you want to do it, like, don't feel like you have to give, like, a homeless person a fucking hand job or whatever. Like,
right? I mean, this is where the whole keeping up with the Joneses comes from.
Yeah.
Oh, look, our neighbour got the latest, you know, this, that, and the other. Oh, we can't be outdone by them.
But, like, at least with the other thing, it's like, oh, they're doing good. You know?
I mean, you know, I've had so much bad happen in my life that I know I was being selfish by wanting to do something good to make up for it. In the hope of good karma, you know?
Yeah.
And I openly admit it.
But, like, I don't feel like you have to do something good in return just because you were lucky enough to escape from it. Although,
no,
you know, if you want to do good, that's great as well. You know, like...
Yeah, yeah. But for me, it was a case of I
Pass the test.
couldn't walk away without feeling like I was a pile of crap.
Right. Okay.
Because I had that extra experience that other people won't have.
Yeah.
So, to me, it was selfish.
Sure.
Because I just wanted that feeling to go away.
Sure.
But to people like yourself that would see it, they'd be like, oh, this man's kind, this man's wonderful.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I get it.
No, yeah, exactly. This is exactly how I'd react to it too, but... well, I mean, this is exactly what my lodge does, because I'm in a wheelchair. They're like, oh my god, you're doing so well, you're so wonderful. I'm really proud of you overcoming your adversity, and I'm like...
It gets patronising at one point.
At one point, it started out bloody patronising.
Like, I can only imagine, but I imagine that's how it comes across eventually.
Oh no, I mean, it came across it instantly, it wasn't eventually.
Right.
But at the same time, I have to keep reminding myself inside my head that they don't mean it.
I mean...
Or that well, not that they don't mean it, that they might not be intending it.
No, at the same time though, it just comes across as lip service.
It is.
And it's like, well, okay.
My first ever piece of ritual I performed for my Masonic Lodge, I did soon after joining. Because our membership was quite low and they had no one else to do it, so I agreed.
Sure.
I'm not going to lie, I felt pressured into it, but that's
No,
a whole other.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing that doesn't really matter
Definitely
right now. And so the particular evening came and went where I did it, and I got not quite a standing ovation, but I got massive rounds of applause.
Yeah.
And the Deputy Provincial Grand Master was there.
Right.
And he spoke out praising me 3 times that night.
Right.
And I'm like, once was enough, mate.
Yeah, can you chill? Yeah.
And then the next evening was a different lodge meeting, but still in the same building.
Okay.
And as you know, I lived opposite the Masonic Lodge, more or less, so I attended that meeting as well.
You're there, yeah.
Because I was there.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, the assistant provincial grandmaster was at that meeting.
Right.
Now, I didn't know he was going to be there because they don't tell you.
Right.
Beforehand, you know.
Yeah.
And he stood up partway through the meeting to make a speech.
Right.
As they do.
Yeah, they do like the sound of their own voices, yep.
Yep. And he brought me up again and the ritual I'd done at the previous night in a completely different lodge.
Just parading you around, yep.
And I was like, why are you bringing me up when I have absolutely nothing to do with the work of these people tonight?
Yeah.
Praising me when I'm not even a member of the lodge is actually pretty insulting to the people that are here.
Yeah.
And undermining their efforts.
Yeah. Alright, we're gonna have to wrap it up here, though.
Yes, sorry, I didn't realise we were... But you see what I mean about condescension?
Yeah.
It's like, there are lines, mate.
Yeah. I mean, you do like the sound of your own voice as well.
Hey, I'm ginger. It's hereditary.
I'm kidding. Well, to a point. Right, cool. Thank you guys for joining us for part 4 of Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition for the PC.
The chatterbox and the money-grubbing Asian, yeah.
Tomorrow will be something. Could be System Shock, could be Outriders, could be Hitman. I don't know yet. I'll decide later, maybe. Then Thursday should be Resident Evil, if there are no hiccups. And then Friday will be more Star Wars The Old Republic. Then Monday should be more Horizon Zero Dawn. And I hope you are, or will, join us for it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.
Have a good evening.